I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
He just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. Yeah, because you got nothing. You got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Well. Welcome everybody to another BD Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. It's a good friend, Mr. BDA, and I'm glad. That's right, I'm glad that everybody could be on board for this one. Fellas, in this episode, we got a fantastic one for you. We're bringing back the phone lines. That's right, everybody was asking for them, so we decided to bring them back, give you guys a direct line of communication to the audience out there. I want to hear from you. There's been a lot of news since we last went on the air a couple of days ago, so that's how it is nowadays. The news line moves fast, so we gotta try to keep up with it. But I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say about this Keyshawn Davis versus Devin Haney malarkey. There's been a lot of back and forth about the price, about the money, the purse bid. They just went to purse bid today. Some people are saying Keyshawn Davis is an idiot for not having taken the $3 million that was originally offered. But again, that comes from the Haney, so who knows if that's true. There's people already picking sides. I want to hear from you. And I'm going to give my thoughts on that too a little bit, of course. Also want to talk about Crawford versus Boots Ennis. A lot of people are saying that Crawford just can't stay out of the limelight. He has to be under the spotlight at all times. Some people are saying he's a bit of a narcissist. Other people are saying, why is he talking so much and being such a big mouth if he's already retired? We're going to delve into that plus more. Teofimo Lopez versus Romero undercard, that's been announced. Some of Shakur Stevenson comments. More Zuffa talk. As always, there's been a new recent developments since we talked about Nico Ali Walsh's bizarre and uncomfortable appearance at Zuffa TKO on Sunday, last Sunday. So we're going to talk about all of that plus more, but you guys know the drill. Before we open up the phone lines, and I'm going to give you an ETA on when we're going to open them. Don't forget, if you want to donate a couple of shekels our way, you're certainly welcome to do so with the Super Chat feature. That also helps with the infrastructure and maintaining the infrastructure of the phone call, so keep that in mind. You can also join the Patreon for free or for as little or as much as you like. Don't forget, you can also donate via the Buy Me a Coffee app, link in the description below. And finally, you can join via the membership program. That way you get more bang for your buck, special emojis, badges, the whole shebang. However, the most important thing is you continue to like, you subscribe, and you spread that BDA gospel. Speaking of the gospel out there, let's give a big shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm talking about JDA, salute to Joe, Rafa, Mr. Pelavacas, Langsbury, more BDC, Siegfried, We Fight All Night TV, Langsbury, Mohammed Amhard, Bruce Lee, Jaime Raiden, Barry Nivola, Mars Deckard, Hyper Spaz. Who else we got in here? We got SJW, Jaime Raiden, Sid Boxing FU, who says, for the good of boxing, let's hope Key knocks out that jab and grab merchant. Oh, I like that. Jab and grab merchant. Oh, I'm going to be using that one from now on. So salute to all of you and all of you who will be continuing to join us here. I guess the plan here tonight, because it's already night. It's already nighttime, but the plan is for me to talk a little bit here, give you the rundown, some of the news, maybe sort of percolate some discussion, and then we'll be opening up the phone lines so that you guys can call in. Make sure to hit the thumbs up and donate if you can. That really helps us with maintaining the infrastructure of the phone lines. I like saying infrastructure, by the way. Makes it sound like we actually got some actual material infrastructure out there. A bunch of cables, a bunch of towers, a bunch of satellite dishes. Maybe one day. But salute to all of you out there. Rafael Garza, salute to Rafael, one of the initiated. All right, let's talk about this. So today, it was in the morning, I believe, 11 in the morning. They came up with the purse bits between the undefeated Keyshawn Davis and, I have to mention this, by the way, WBO welterweight titleist Devin Haney. This is a fight that was talked about for a while. They were circling each other on the Twitter, and I just saw somebody photoshopped their thumbnail. Had to be Dr. JR. Hold on a second. So anyway, yeah, they had the purse bid, right? And a lot of people were talking about that. And finally, the purse bid is 70-30 in Devin Haney's favor. Some people were saying that Keyshawn Davis was trying to get himself a more favorable cut. Dan Rayfield has been very vocal about how Keyshawn Davis made a mistake. So is Rick Glacier. Rick Glacier is repeating the same thing. How's the connection here? Are we lagging already? What's going on here? Okay, we're back to green. Anyway, those two fellas on Twitter were saying that Keyshawn Davis made a big mistake. Then I heard that Keyshawn Davis can still negotiate. Somebody said this. I don't know if this is true, but that Keyshawn Davis can still negotiate, and that the 2.5 mil or whatever that figure was that he was left with can actually be negotiated, and that is indeed the minimum. That's what somebody was saying. Now, I'm not so much interested in the money, the financial aspect of it, although I will say that Dan Rayfield has been, I don't know, he's been taking, he keeps writing like, oh, Keyshawn Davis made a mistake, LOL. I'm thinking, why are you laughing? I don't know, it seems as if he's taking a joy in the fact that Keyshawn Davis might be left on the shorter end of the bag than he actually expected. And I want to say something about Dan Rayfield here, and this is from people that know him. This is what I heard from people that know him. For people that don't know, by the way, Dan Rayfield made his bones really quickly, coming up to the ranks in rapid fashion in boxing. And then he ended up with working with USA Today, I believe. That's when these periodicals actually covered boxing. And he made a name for himself rather quickly. He was not a boxing fan until the ripe old age, I believe, of late 20s or early 30s. I forget. And then he became a big shot. Big shot. And I would hear from people on the internet telling me, and again, this is hearsay, but people would say that he would skip the line when getting to the writer's buffet over there during the press conferences, and that he would skip the order of questioning. He would arrive late and then barge in with his questions to a fighter while everyone else was already seated and trying to get their questions in. It's almost like he thought he was a big shot. I don't know. Then he went over to ESPN for a while. That ended. And for a while there, it seems like he was looking for a landing. spot. And not for nothing, but I still remember when Leonard Ellerbe, one day, there was this big discussion about the pay-per-view numbers for Tank Davis. Remember, I don't know if people remember this, but during the PBC tenure over at Showtime, neither Showtime nor the PBC ever released the numbers. It was already an adjacent writer saying sources claim or sources say these are the numbers. And then they would say the numbers, but it was never the PBC or Showtime directly, which raised a lot of eyebrows here on this show. And I remember one time somebody said something about the PBC, and then Rayfield actually tagged Leonard Ellerbe, who at the time was very close with Tank Davis and Floyd Mayweather Jr., and then Rayfield was like, hey, Leonard, check this dummy out, because somebody was criticizing the PBC. So I have one example here for you. These are some of the numbers that he was putting forth about Tank Davis on pay-per-view. And he was saying, for those who keep asking about Gervonta's pay-per-views, Rolly Romero will be about 275, Santa Cruz between 200 and 225, Barrios 210, 215, and Pitbull a touch over 200K. But then I remember Rick Glacier was coming up with different numbers. And I forget the exact number that Steven Espinosa, who at the time was the head of Showtime Boxing, but he was on that Chicken Talk podcast on Twitter. We're a very diverse audience in that podcast, by the way. Very open-minded, never rallied against any type of people or any demographics. I'm being sarcastic, of course. But he was over there. That's the type of people he hangs out with. And he actually let it slip that the Romero pay-per-view numbers didn't come close to 200,000. I think that's what he said. Maybe I'm wrong, but if somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what Espinosa said. So here you have Rayfield spreading the notion that the Romero-Davis fight did about 275K, and that doesn't really sound quite right. So what I'm trying to get at is I have to wonder if Dan Rayfield, somebody got to him. Again, he's working over there now. He doesn't really have a corporate job, which, I mean, you can still make a lot of money on Substack. I don't know how much he's making, but I wonder if he wants a little bit more. I remember also he was defending Haney a lot after Haney lost to Garcia. And even though that was changed to a no contest later on, he still got a whooping, talking about Haney. And that was a whooping. You know, when people say, oh, this guy whooped that guy, meanwhile, it's a 12-round decision. No, this guy whooped him. Dropped him numerous times, made him shit his pants, stunned him multiple times as well. And then Rayfield, I remember he came out, he goes, yeah, Garcia won, but let's not forget that he was 3.2 pounds overweight and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, how come he never brought that up, as far as I know? Every time Haney beats somebody saying, hey, let's not forget the guy weighs 160-something, 5 pounds, fighting lightweights and junior welterweights. Never really brought that up. So, I don't know. It's kind of bizarre. I do remember somebody going at him on Twitter here. Hold on a sec. Somebody going up at him on Twitter here. I don't know. I just thought it was a interesting interaction that he had. Somebody said, breaking Matchroom Boxing on Saturday, hours before the heavyweight. Clark was saying, supposedly that Haney had been sent a letter to Matchroom that Haney shouldn't be fighting on that Fury Mahmoud undercard. And somebody said, more bullshit from the fat yank. So that's what he's got to deal with on Twitter. Everybody that's on Twitter, by the way, have to deal with this type of malarkey. But then again, I'm just giving you the rundown. So I don't know if maybe the Haneys, who are known to know for their, what's the word I'm looking for here? Smoke and mirrors type of show, propaganda, sleight of hand tactics, the dark arts when it comes to public relations. You know, the rumor was that they pay YouTubers. I'm always dubious of these YouTubers and other social media personalities that have Bill Haney on their platform. Because all he does is tell you, let me tell you about, and then when he gets challenged, he's very adroit of telling you guys out there and us that we're nobodies. And who are we, blah, blah, blah. But then when people start asking him questions, all of a sudden he's the one that, instead of, you know, because supposedly he's the authority, right? He's the one that starts asking questions. Well, let me ask you something. I remember one time he was on that King KO 86, or I forget the guy's name. And he caught him on a lie. He said, the guy was being condescending a little bit to King KO, and then he goes, Bill Haney's like, he was being condescending. And then the other guy goes, well, how many views did the Kambosos versus Haney fight have? And he goes, that was our first pay-per-view fight. And that wasn't a pay-per-view, by the way. That was on ESPN twice. So Bill Haney's telling you that it was pay-per-view. He doesn't even know what's going on, or he doesn't even remember where his son fought. So take what Bill Haney says with a grain of salt. And if you ever see somebody defending Haney too much, be very weary of it. Again, I can't prove this beyond a reasonable doubt, but I got my doubt. That's all I'm going to say in regards to some of these people that defend Haney a lot. Fellas, we're going to be opening up the phone lines in about 20 minutes because I have a lot to get to. And as it pertains to this whole Haney versus Keyshawn Davis malarkey, the hijinks that are occurring, as always has to be something when it comes to boxing, and this fight is not getting made. Interestingly, when Bam fought Puma Martinez, the fight got made. Inoue versus Nakatani, boom, the fight got made. Crawford versus Canelo, boom, fight got made. Whining about the purse bid and the size of the ring and the gloves, nothing. Usyk versus Fury, boom, gets done. Now, of course, there's that Turkey Al-Ashik was involved in all that, but what I'm saying is these fights get made. With Devin Haney, it's always something. And not for nothing, but Keyshawn Davis, too, is a bit of a blowhard. So just it's a sad state of affairs that when this is what we have to deal with when it comes to boxing. And I want to hear from you guys. And what you think about all of this. And we're going to be opening up the phone lines and talk about that. Also, a bunch of other subjects. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Joe in the chat says, fuck Dan Rayfield. It used to be pronounced like it was Latin. Now he has it pronounced like he's European. It's a joke. Siegfried says, don't let Dora call in. Hey, listen, we're not pro-censorship here. But I will say this, I'll limit the amount of time that he's on. Because he seems to be a bit of a weirdo. And he knows it. So hopefully he doesn't take it personal. Casamigos Cal says, Dan Rayfield's on the Haney payroll and he's paid in... and he's paid in Krispy Kreme gift cards. That shouldn't have made me laugh as much as it did. Hold on a second. Snack says drug cheat is a drug cheat, but you think Victor Conte? Okay, I don't know what they're talking about. Hold on a second. Mr. Pelavacas, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so people are talking about some other thing right there. So that's what I wanted to talk about here, the Haney versus Keyshawn Davis. Hopefully it happens because there's a lot of people that are still unconvinced or they're still doubtful about whether this fight is even going to happen. By the way, this is the thumbnail that we initially wanted to put in. I don't know why Dr. JR in the Discord, he's always putting Max Kellerman in everything. It's starting to get a little creepy. But yeah, so this Devin Haney versus Keyshawn Davis fight, I think it's a very interesting fight if it happens. Again, I'm not saying it's a world-class, slobber knocker type of fight, but it's an interesting fight. Now, I will say this. You have Devin Haney, who is officially 33-0 with 50 knockouts, although we all remember what happened in April 2024 when he had to start thinking about buying diapers and wearing diapers in the ring after what Ryan Garcia did to him. He's 27 years old, 5'8", stands at 5 feet 8 inches tall with a 71-inch reach. Keyshawn Davis is also 27 years old with a 70-inch reach. So that's a disadvantage of 1 inch if these stats are correct. But he does have a height advantage of 1 inch on top of that. So it's give and take when it comes to this. And he's 15-0 with 10 knockouts. Now, some of you guys might be thinking, well, wait a minute. Devin Haney coming into this has more experience, even though they're both the same age. What gives? Well, recall that Keyshawn Davis actually had a deep amateur career. He went to the Olympics, and those Olympics were... I always forget, 2016, right? 2020 Olympics. And he actually got to the final round there. Ended up losing to Andy Cruz famously. And Andy Cruz won't let him forget about it. Still calls him his son. And interesting, look at this. Pan American Games, World Championships, medal silver in the Pan American Games and in the World Championships. And of course, medal silver in the Tokyo Olympics in 2020. Now, some people might be looking and then saying, second place. Not for nothing, but when you get to that level, where you actually make it to the Olympics, that's some high-level stuff right there. I mean, I know these guys aren't content with the loss and the silver medal, but if you put it into perspective, the amount of work and to a certain degree fortune that you need to make it all the way to the final, that's a big accomplishment right there. And these 3-minute fights at this level, it's a lot like fencing. So whether one guy loses or not, it's not really... This ain't professional boxing is what I'm saying. And I'm not a big fan of this Olympic fencing boxing type fight. So I don't think Keyshawn Davis should be... I don't know if he is or not, but no shame in losing at the final in the Olympics. So what I'm saying is this dude has a deep amateur dossier. He's more seasoned as an amateur. Whereas Haney, the same age, he was fighting in Tijuana. And he was fighting guys that are like 5'3", 5'2". And even there's a rumor that allegedly he had a loss over there and they had to scrape it off his record. Kind of like they did with Ryan Garcia. I don't know. So nothing new under the sun there. But this fight is very interesting because I'm telling you this, guys. And I said this before. The Haneys, they only take calculated risks. They don't take fights unless they know they have a chance to win. Now, some people are going to say, well, wait, I mean, isn't that what every boxer does? They always give themselves a chance to win. No. Hear me out here. Let's take a look at their track record. They made it seem as if they wanted to fight Vasyl Lomachenko all the way back in 2019, which makes no sense. I do not believe that they wanted that fight, because if they really wanted to, they could have pursued it, whether Lomachenko had the franchise belt or the actual WBC belt, whatever. They could have actually pursued and made them an offer. That's what the WBC president, Jose Sulaiman, said. And he told Bill Haney that to his face, and Bill Haney didn't. He went off on another tangent. And by the way, Lomachenko, even if he would have fought Haney back then, he actually did him a favor not fighting him back then, because if Lomachenko, in the eyes of a lot of people, an older version of Lomachenko, a slower version of Lomachenko, actually beat Haney in their fight in a lot of people's eyes. Imagine what he would have done, a younger version of Lomachenko, to a green, highly inexperienced Devin Haney. Would have been a massacre. So Lomachenko actually did him a favor, and Haney never thanked him for it, which I think is ludicrous. But anyway, the point is, they only fought Lomachenko after Lopez beat Lomachenko, and especially they started licking their chops when they saw Lomachenko have to go hard against Jermaine Ortiz. Then they only took on Prograis after Prograis looked like crap against Zorrilla. They took on Ryan Garcia after Garcia lost to Tank Davis, and they thought he was only an Instagram model, Garcia that is, that couldn't do anything to him. Well, they found out the hard way, but thanks to their connections with Victor Conti and to a certain extent, some say Vada, they managed to finesse all of that out of the way. And a lot of people give Haney credit for the Brian Norman fight. First of all, as we're going to get to, I don't give him a lot of credit for that. I give him credit for stepping in there and actually pulling it off, but to a certain extent. And this one is not as clear-cut as the other ones, but they took on Brian Norman, and it was a very good calculated risk because a lot of people were high on Brian Norman Jr. after what he did to Santillan and Sasaki over in Japan with those sensational-looking knockouts. But even Haney was telling him in the face-off and in the sit-down, I don't even know who the guys you fought are. I didn't even know who you were a year ago, he told him to his face. So again, they let it out of the bag. They let you know what they think of their opposition. That's the guy that he handpicked. But because he'd been creating these sensational knockouts, everybody thought, oh man, Haney's chinny. Garcia was able to drop Haney multiple times, stunned him multiple times, made him shit his pants. And so they thought Norman was going to do the same thing. But we have a video that we did a couple of months ago about Ryan Garcia. And what he was able to pull off against Haney had nothing to do with the Austrian, by the way. It was all technique in that video, the things we're highlighting. And we highlight the things that Garcia was able to pull off from a technical standpoint and what Norman couldn't do. Norman just isn't, and I know this is going to rub some people the wrong way, but it's all in the video we showed. I suggest people go watch it. I'm going to put it up on the screen here later. Garcia, whether you like it or not, he has an amateur pedigree. He knows how to control range. He knows how to control distance. He's got the length, and he's got the speed and the power to pull things off, to make things happen that Brian Norman Jr. can't even dream of right now. And case in point, that Quinn Randall fight that Brian Norman Jr. had back on ESPN, I think it was in 2023, I want to say. I think it was on the undercard of Stevenson versus De Los Santos. I know people don't want to think about that fight anymore. People don't want to even go near that undercard, but that's where he was, I believe. Brian Norman Jr. looked like crap against, against Quinn Randall. Couldn't deal with his bladed stance, couldn't deal with the clinches, and that's when the Haney said, aha, we have a better jab and a better right hand than Quinn Randall. We can just punch out this guy and then clinch him. Again, rewatch the Haney versus Brian Norman fight. It's a lot of clinching. He'll pop, every once in a while, Norman with a jab or a right hand, and then he'll clinch him. That's not great defense. Great defense is I punch a guy and then I bob, I weave, I sleep, I block, I step back. He didn't do any of that. He would just clinch him, grab his arm or grab him by the shoulder, by the waist, or grab him in one arm and immobilize him. That's not great defense. Anybody can do that. We saw Jake Paul go 6-7 rounds against Anthony Joshua by doing those techniques, those ass techniques, those ass tactics, running around the ring, clinching, blah, 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 blah. I mean, is that really skillful? No, sorry, Bob. Not in my book. And not according to the rule book either, which is the most important thing. Almost as important as a BDA book. Real quick, I gotta check a super chat here. Don't forget, fellas, we're gonna be opening up the phone lines in about 20 minutes, so stay tuned for that. The question of the day is Devin Haney taking a calculated risk against Keyshawn Davis. Do they think that they already know that Keyshawn Davis cannot handle a bladed stance and a whole lot of clinching? That's the main question here. Now, I'm trying to find that Garcia video too, and I can't find it for some reason. Butcher, if you're listening to this, I don't know if you're listening to this, Butcher, can you look through the videos, the BDA videos? Where was that video that we did Ryan Garcia, what Ryan Garcia was able to pull off against Haney and why other people couldn't pull it off? Interestingly enough, again, was it last year? Was it this year? I forget. Maybe we took it down. Anyway, let me check the super chat here. Shout out to the Chitlin distributor for his contribution with the super chat. And he says, ain't nobody listen to Dan Dunkin' Donuts Rayfield. Well, I'm not saying he's wrong all the time. All I said was, I don't know, he seems to be taking a lot of Joey and Keyshawn Davis screwing up in this case. If he even screwed up. Again, I'm just waiting to see what happens on that side of the story, on the negotiation aspect. If the fight even happens. But I'm more interested in what I'm talking about here, which is the fight itself. How does it play out? And shouldn't it be concerning for Keyshawn Davis fans that the Haneys decided to go with him? Because again, they had a choice, either fight Shakur Stevenson or Keyshawn Davis. And they went with Keyshawn Davis. And again, I can't help but wonder, just like they did with Norman Jr. after what they saw, after what they probably saw, because again, this isn't the strongest case as when it comes to calculated risk and how they knew that they already had a plan to beat a guy, or that the guy had looked weak. Like I said, they looked at Lomachenko after Lopez, they thought he was weak. They looked at Garcia after Tank Davis, they thought he was weak. Prograis after Zorrilla, I thought he was weak. Norman, that one I'm not so sure. But I'm guessing that they saw the Quinn Randall fight. Well, with Keyshawn Davis, I'm guessing that they saw the 22 rounds that Keyshawn Davis had against Nahir Albright. Now, Nahir Albright is one of the best journeymen out there. He is a classic journeyman. He'll give everybody trouble. Fights that where he's not supposed to win, he pulls him off. Like he gave Jermaine Ortiz trouble a couple of years ago. He had a draw against Frank Martin, and people say, oh, Frank Martin sucks. Hey, listen, Frank Martin, not that long ago, was an undefeated guy. Remember when he beat the dude that looked like Muhammad Ali? A lot of people were high on him. He did beat Hovhannissian, and he struggled against Hovhannissian. I don't even know if he really won that fight, but he did manage to hurt Hovhannissian and drop him, something Shakur Stevenson couldn't do. So I'm not saying he's as good as Shakur Stevenson. What I'm saying is he's no slouch. He's no bum. And Nahir Albright was able to really do very well against him in scoring a draw. So that's the type of guy Nahir Albright is. And he gave Keyshawn Davis a very tough fight in that first one. And that was that was turned into a no contest because Keyshawn Davis, he tested positive for the devil's weed, the devil's herb. And then, of course, they had the rematch earlier this year. And again, a lot of, like somebody said earlier, I think it was Sid Boxing a few, jab and clutch tactics from a jab and clutch merchant. Shout out to the Chilean distributor, by the way, again. Shout out to him for his contribution with the super chat. And shout out to Rafael Garza for his contribution with the super chat as well. And he says, and the Haney's younger brother, the prophet of Allah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's blasphemy, by the way. When the only prophets of Allah can actually communicate, I believe, receive, I don't know if direct messaging from Allah or from his servants, the angels. So for the half-brother of Haney, the light-skinned one, for him to be saying that he had a vision from Allah, meaning he had a direct message from him, I think that's blasphemy. But then again, the Haneys never particularly struck me as particularly pious. So, I don't know. But shout out to Rafael Garza for his contribution via the super chat. Guys, don't forget, we're going to be opening up the phone lines in about 15 minutes. So make sure to stay tuned for that. One of the questions is, Haney, does he know something we don't? Does he know that Davis is beatable, that the blueprint is already out there with the jab and clutch tactics? I think so. And again, that Keyshawn Davis actually, Keyshawn Davis actually improved a lot. I would say he improved in the Nahir Albright rematch, partially because Nahir Albright had to clinch a lot more in the rematch. But in the first fight, that was a little bit closer. Keyshawn Davis got his head snapped back a little bit in that one. But then in the rematch, like I said, Nahir Albright had to dig down into the ass tactics a little bit more. And he actually was starting to get beat up a little bit there in the last round. So if I'm Davis, or if I'm one of the Davis supporters, I know he must have a couple out there, I'd be a little concerned about why the Haneys chose him. However, this is boxing, guys. Nobody has a crystal ball out there. And we already know that the Haneys have made mistakes. When they fought Lomachenko, they fought him when they finally thought he was ripe for the picking. And what happened in that one? A lot of people feel Lomachenko should have won. Smaller, older guy in there pushing back the younger man. Then the younger man complaining in between rounds. He knows exactly what I'm doing. He knows I'm going to the right. I mean, fucking Loma had him figured out. And then we know what happened in the Ryan Garcia fight, where again, the Haneys let it slip out of the bag. Oh, you haven't improved since the amateur days. You're not that good. And then what happened? Gets stunned multiple times, gets dropped multiple times, and ends up crapping in his pants. So what I'm trying to illustrate here is that just because they think they have a chance of beating Keyshawn Davis doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Moreover, it might not also signify that they're all that confident in beating Davis. Maybe they had to go, in other words, they had to pick their poison. What do? Do we go up against Shakur Stevenson and we've already sparred him and we know that he can also grab with me, he can wrestle with me? Or do we go with Keyshawn Davis, who is a little less seasoned when it comes to the professional ranks? And this might be the most important factor, guys. We can get under his skin. We can get inside his head because Keyshawn Davis, he's a bit of a wacko. He's admitted it himself. He admitted he used to be in the home. He was standing on top of a garage and wanted to jump off. He's always making weird faces. Some people say that he's being manipulated, perhaps not only psychologically and spiritually, but also sexually by Shakur Stevenson. And then on top of that, we saw what he ended up doing with De Los Santos. He went nuts against De Los Santos. And by the way, all the theatrics he does against De Los Santos at the press conference, against Baranchik, creating his own Jussie Smollett situation with that box of fruit and the racist messages in there. Whatever happened to that, by the way? Never did get to the bottom of it, did they? It's almost like they didn't want to get to the bottom of it. But anyway, all of that, attacking Baranchik in the press conference or trying to, going nuts, like I said, after the De Los Santos thing, not even trying to make weight, showing up at the fight anyway, and starting a brawl in front of kids and children, toddlers. I mean, the guy's not right in the head. And maybe that's why the Haney's thing, hey, yeah, we can get under his skin, make him be overly aggressive. That way we can jab him coming in and then just grab him around the arms. And that way he can punch us. And then the media, especially the media that loves the Haney's for some reason, they'll talk about a great performance, brilliance, sublime boxing. Yeah, real sublime when you're just grabbing somebody. That way they can't punch you. Yeah, some real brilliant boxing stuff right there, let me tell you. Guys, don't forget to hit the like, really helps us out. And again, I don't know, man, about Keyshawn Davis. I'm not all that confident in his mentality. But again, just because the Haney's think that he might be the easier fighter compared to Shakur Stevenson, doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. Doesn't mean that they're going to be able to beat him. And I don't know who I'm rooting for here in this one. Because like I said, I just outlined all of Keyshawn Davis's shortcomings, mentally, spiritually, morally, but also the Haney's. I mean, Devin Haney's the guy that him and his posse assaulted, and allegedly, this is what people are saying, a man who was special needs at a carnival. A special needs, 5 feet, 5 inch tall Guatemalan carnival worker. That's the guy that they assaulted. And then Haney is the first one to leave. So that if his posse gets caught, they're the ones that get caught and he manages to skate away clean. That's the way Bill Haney raised him. Always coddling him, always protecting him, always keeping him away from the street life, which in a way is a good thing, but it's just that it's made Haney, some people feel that it's made Haney a little bit soft. Guys, I'm curious to hear what you guys have to think about this, about everything I said. Is this going to be a jab and clutch affair? If indeed it does happen, the fight that is Keyshawn Davis versus Devin Haney, is that going to be a clinch fest? Are people going to call it out? I'm curious. Guys, I think it's about time we open up the phone lines. That's what I think. Hold on a second. Let me just... Yeah, I'm going to open up the phone lines. Hopefully I can still remember how to do that. And you guys get to call in and give us your thoughts on that. And if you want to talk about anything else too, we got plenty of subjects. Don't you worry about a thing. We got plenty of subjects. So let me just open up the phone lines here. Like I said, don't forget to hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. It really helps us out. All right. Let me put on a little music here just for your entertainment, because otherwise it's a little bit... oh, yeah. That's the music that we were playing during the Romero when he was talking about meeting God. There you go. That's the... these are the musical tonalities you hear when you're on the true path of the Crimson Cross, as you get closer and closer. Hold on a second.
Too fucking easy, homie. Motherfuckers looking for shortcuts and we're holding the highest self-standard. Shit ain't about luck, it ain't about talent, homie. It's about falling in love with the motherfucking process.
That's right.
Getting up every day and chasing that bitch with relentless aggression. Fuck them if they don't like it Friday. Let's get this fucking money. Too fucking easy, homie. Motherfuckers looking for shortcuts and
Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the call-in studio web interface.
Oh, what the? Did you guys hear that? That was a lot of interference right there. I don't know what that was. As long as I'm not over modulating here on the audio, that's I think that's the best thing. All right, guys, open phone lines, so you guys can call in and give us your thoughts on anything and everything boxing. I'm gonna put up the number on the marquee here. Hold on a second. There you go. That is the correct number, by the way. If anybody call in here, because I always forget how there's a step 2 that you gotta do. View console, hang up. I think we're good. I think we're on the air now with the phone call. So make sure to call in. And I'm going to be putting up the number here as well on the left-hand corner of your screen. There it is, 320-412-2035. That's 320-412-2035. Make sure to call. Remember, guys, I can't call you. You got to call me. So make sure to do that. And we are golden. All right. Shout out to Sid Boxing FU for his contribution to the Super Chat. And he says, let's hope Key, he keeps calling him Key, let's hope Key smashes up the jab and grab Merchant. Yeah, you know what though, guys? That's what I'm interested in too, is who are you going to be rooting for? Because Keyshawn Davis, starting fights backstage, failing to make weight, always starting beef with his opponents at the press conference, pulling his own Jussie Smollett case with the box of fruit. Then you got Devin Haney with everything he's done. And then, I'll never lose to a white boy comment, and then assaulting a special needs Carney last year, or what was it? Last year or in 2024? I forget. I mean, it's kind of hard to find somebody to root for in this one. I don't know why. I guess if you have to go through by who has a more exciting style, you'd have to go with Keyshawn Davis, right? I don't know. Guys, don't forget to call in. The number's there in the left-hand middle portion of your screen. Make sure to call in. Really helps us out. And I want to give you guys the rundown too. In the last episode, we talked about Nico Ali Walsh, how he showed up to the whatchamacallit, the Zuffa TKO event. And they actually gave him a platform. They say, yeah, sure, come in, give us your talk about your plight and what you think is wrong with the whole Zuffa thing, with the revision. They wanted to revise part of the Ali Act. Come on in and give us your thoughts on that. We'll give you free reign. And, shout out to Zuffa for doing that. I mean, not necessarily shout out, but I mean, it's a good tactic because it signifies, or it tries to show the people that, hey, yeah, we're open here. We got nothing to hide. Come on down and we'll give you a platform. And that's what Nico Ali Walsh did. But however, I just listening to a little bit of him, because I'd never really heard Nico Ali Walsh talk. I'd read about what he said, but I'd never actually heard him talk. And then I started thinking, this guy, he doesn't really know what to say. Check out again. We'll replay the best bit here.
Manager Amer, we're just fighters. No offense. I can't help legacy and where.
Okay, listen to this part here.
Of your grandfather's legacy and where the sport once was. And I know that was a great topic of conversation in discussing the Revival Act, of where the sport currently is in terms of its relevance, especially domestically here in the United States, compared to where it was. What do you hope Zuffa and all the promotion...
Okay, let me fast forward. You get the question.
...of some of the great memories that happen upstairs with your family's name attached to it?
Boxing is at its best when they put the fighters first. And when you look at the history of boxing, like, you know, those fights with my grandfather and everybody, they were at the best because the fighters were fighting their best. The fighters had the right to do so.
The fighters had the right to be at their best. Apparently, they don't have the right to be at their best anymore. Can you believe that? That's what he actually said. The fighters were at their best when they were fighting at their best. Fighters used to be at their best because they were allowed to be at their best. Best. I tell you what, he's not the best at talking. And so that's what he said, right? That's where he came in with that whole talking about the Zuffa. Didn't really explain, didn't give any specifics about what's wrong with Zuffa TKO or what they're going to do that's so bad or what needs to be fixed. And again, one of the other things I mentioned is during that whole spiel that he gave, we didn't hear about him talking about the fans. It's always about the fighters. And some people were saying, what's his angle? People were asking, what is Nico Ali Walsh's angle? What does he want out of all of this? And sure enough, that's why he's always talking about the fighters. This interview here that he was doing with Radio Rahim, Nico Ali Walsh went on the air with his manager. Check out what his manager had to say.
The other promoters coming forward and saying, hey, Nico, we know you haven't fought, man. Here's a slot on our card. Keep going. Keep fighting a good fight. Where are they?
Let's replay that.
The other promoters coming forward and saying, hey, Nico, we know you haven't fought, man. Here's a slot on our card. Keep going. Keep fighting a good fight. Where are they?
Where are all these promoters offering my fighter, Nico Ali Walsh, a fight? Top Rank let him go, right? I think. Because he just wasn't that good. He was a bit of a novelty act. Like, hey, we got Nico Ali Walsh's grandson. I think he's got a whole bunch of grandsons, or had. Let's just put this one happens to box. He's not that bad. Let's put him on. They put him on. He wasn't that good. If it wasn't for the Ali Walsh, the Ali name, he probably wouldn't have made it to Top Rank. I mean, I guess some people could argue against that, but whatever. They gave him a shot and it didn't work out. And now we have his manager saying that.
The other promoters coming forward and saying, hey, Nico, we know you haven't fought, man. Here's a slot on our card. Keep going. Keep fighting a good fight. Where are they?
So now people are saying that was the plan all along. He was just grandstanding because he wanted to revive his name. He wanted to revive and relight the spark. Hey, guys, I'm still here. Give me a shot. But nobody really is interested in Nico Ali Walsh. And it casts doubts and aspersions on whether he actually is all that interested in this whole protect boxing thing. This whole venture of trying to prevent Zuffa from what's the word here? Downgrading fighter pay and their rights and whatever. And I'm thinking, look, boxing's been on a bit of a downturn for the past 30 years. Some things have been maintained, like some of the quality of the fights hasn't degraded that much, but everything else is sort of falling apart. The fact that some of these guys are getting overpaid. I mean, the fact that that Top Rank bid $8 million for Devin Haney versus Keyshawn Davis, where neither guy is that much of a draw, just lets you know that these guys are getting paid way too much. It's almost like what Butch always talks about with stocks in AI and Tesla and all that. It's manufactured paper, digital currency. I mean, not currency, but it's digital numbers. Like, well, it's almost as if they're putting the power in the name and the brand as opposed to what they actually produce. What are they actually producing? There's overseas companies that are making superior products to the one that from Tesla. That's just one example, right? It's a bit of a house of cards, some of these things. And it's the same thing with boxing. These dudes don't actually produce the results when it comes at the gate and pay-per-view buys and viewership that they would lead you to believe based on their purses. You look at them and go, whoa, Devin Haney getting paid $6 million, $5 million? He's not worth it. And on top of that those $5-6 million, they're not as worth as much as they were 20 years ago. So that's the problem with boxing, man. These guys are getting paid a lot. Nico Ali Walsh, we heard him say earlier, boxing was at its best when fighters were allowed to be at their best. Well, they're allowed to be at their best now. And what do we see? Jab and grab merchants like Devin Haney. I think that's deplorable. So that's what we got there, man. Yeah, I mean, it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating if that we see this type of stuff going on. Boxing fighters aren't allowed to be at their best. Yes, they are. They're not giving us their best, and not for nothing. But maybe this is why the Haneys were inactive for so long. They're looking for the highest bidder. They're looking for the best fight possible, and they only want to fight once per year. We saw that with Alexander Usyk, with Terence Crawford. But at least those guys, you could make the argument that they're established. The Haney's and all these dudes, they don't. I mean, people say, "Oh, the Haney, he fights everybody. Devin Haney fights everybody." Calculated risks. I went through the list of the people he fights and when he fights them. Very calculated, guys. Don't get it twisted. He's not. But then, and then he's got his connections where they manage to overturn results. This dude is not as good as people make him out to be. He just isn't. I mean, when you're jabbing a guy and then just grabbing him and you call that great defense and nobody questions it. Very few people question it out there. And it's sometimes it makes you wonder if you're in a different world than what other people are watching. It's bizarre. Guys, don't forget to hit the like. Hit the like really helps us out. And don't forget to call in. This is the PDA Boxing call-in show. Make sure to call in. Yes, indeed. Make sure to call in. Give us your thoughts on anything and everything boxing. In particular, this question here. Devin Haney versus Keyshawn Davis. Who wins? And is Keyshawn Davis in trouble in regards to the fact that the Haneys only really fight when it comes to calculated risk, when they know that they already have a very good chance of winning? So make sure to call in and give us your thoughts on that. The phone lines are open. The phone number is right there in the left-hand middle portion of your screen. So that's what we got there with Nick Wally Walsh too, talking about it's starting to turn out as if all he wanted was to get a shot at another fight. And it wouldn't surprise me if Zuffa ends up offering him a fight just to shut him up and say, you see, one of our harshest critics, we have him here. So if one of our harshest critics is on our platform, that means our platform can't be all that bad. Speaking of bad and platforms and all that type of stuff, we also have Oscar De La Hoya coming in. A couple of days ago, he had this to say. Oscar De La Hoya men's fences with Ryan Garcia, again, warns about Zuffa. What else is new, right? But this is what Oscar De La Hoya had to say about Zuffa. He says, it's just like another regular show. There's nothing different. It's a normal, regular production that we've all seen over the years. First of all, I got to pause there. No, it's not like a normal production. It's a better production because they roll out the fights pronto. They don't spend 30 minutes minimum talking with 15 different broadcasters, 15 different media personalities, 15 different ex-fighters, current fighters. They're standing in front of the entrance, then they have Eddie Hearn talking about the next fights that are going to come up. They don't do that with Zuffa. The fight's over. One guy gets knocked out. Before they could even finish scraping him off the canvas, they're already putting in the other guy in the ring. That's how it's supposed to do it. Bang, bang, bang. Move it along. Apparently, that's how they do it in the UFC. And I like it. We all like it. Steve Kim's been talking about that and complaining about how long it takes in between fights, particularly with the pay-per-views. I don't want to hear I like Carl Frampton and all that, but if I want to hear from him, I'll go watch him in a YouTube video, a YouTube interview. I don't want to hear from that black British dude, that Afro-Anglo guy, the host, one of the hosts, and then interviewing Tony Bellew, Carl Frampton. Did I say Peter Frampton earlier? Anyway, Carl Frampton. What's the other guy's name? There's another dude. The Irish guy, that fought Golovkin and fought Martinez. Anyway, they got those three dudes. And then they have a female broadcaster. She's in another part of the arena. She's interviewing Eddie Hearn and she's interviewing De La Hoya. It's like, can we move it along, please? So when De La Hoya says it's another regular show, no, it's not. It's a better show. Then De La Hoya continued saying, the ridiculous part is the announcers. I mean, every little shot, every little grace, every little punch that's thrown, they're like, it's the biggest thing in the world. I mean, come on, guys. I know exactly what you're trying to do. It's UFC 2.0 all over again. Now, that I will agree with. I will agree with De La Hoya in that instance. The commentators, they're not the best. Zuffa didn't bring their best and brightest. First of all, Max Kellerman, it's amazing. So many people have pointed out ever since Kellerman made his appearance on Zuffa that the guy will not stop deep-throating Zuffa TKO. And I am amazed at how impenetrable he is to criticism. The guy doesn't care. He doesn't. The way he looks at it probably is, hey, I'm getting paid to deep throat them, and I got no qualms about it. I'm actually doing my job. That's what he thinks. So he cannot be stopped in that regard. Andrew Ward's not that bad as a commentator, but he's still not the best. I would have preferred somebody like Malignaggi or Antonio Tarver. Oh, that would have been a good one. But by the way, I will disagree with De La Hoya. I don't think they're not as bad as the commentators at the UFC. They're the ones that every time they see a knockout, it's like the first time they've ever seen a knockout. Oh my God! Can you believe it? Yeah, we can believe it because we've seen it 50, 100 times before. I mean, come on, guys. They always have to do a crazy face because they know they're going to go viral. But anyway, that's what De La Hoya said about that Zuffa TKO. You know, like Zuffa TKO shows, they have some good, they have some bad. The best part is the matchmaking. They've managed to produce some good, even fights and some knockout of the year contenders right off the bat. So that's something I like right there. Now, I tell you what, De La Hoya is probably not going to like. I don't know if Shane Mosley is still a partner with Golden Boy Promotions. I don't think he is any longer. And of course, Shane Mosley Jr. might be biased here in this video that I'm going to show you, where he's defending Zuffa TKO a little bit, or actually casting aspersions on De La Hoya. But because Shane Mosley's son fights under the Zuffa banner now. But whether his son fights on the Zuffa, but whether his son fights under the Zuffa banner, or his daughter, or whether nobody from his extended family fights there, does it really change the facts of what he's saying? Check it out.
According to Oscar, so Oscar, I don't know, somebody must have told him you better be quiet. So he's quiet now. Now Ryan Garcia and Conor Ben is made. Before then, it wasn't made because according to Oscar, so Oscar's not the one making the shot anymore. Yeah.
So he said Oscar's not the one calling the shots anymore. That's the interesting part that I wanted to play you here. But let me just rewind a little bit here.
Trojan horse.
Okay, yeah, because De La Hoya said he compared Zuffa TKO with a Trojan horse.
Oscar's calling Zuffa the Trojan horse. What do you think he means by that, and what do you make of Oscar's criticism? Oscar was already saying Zuffa's nothing, Dana White, nothing, and then all of a sudden his script changed. I don't know, somebody must have told him you better be quiet. So he's quiet now. Now Ryan Garcia and Conor Ben is made. Before then, it wasn't made because according to Oscar, so Oscar's not the one making the shot. Yeah.
All right, now that's not quite true. De La Hoya is still complaining. He's still complaining. But I think maybe what Shane Mosley was trying to say was that De La Hoya got a little bit quiet, or that he's toned down a little bit the criticism with that. But then there was also somebody on Twitter saying that Zuffa TKO, Zuffa TKO, you got Zuffa TKO, you got Riyadh Season, you got Salah. Apparently, it's 4 different type of distinct organizations under the same umbrella. So apparently, this card, Ryan Garcia versus Conor Ben, they're going to use De La Hoya as a promoter on paper, but he's not really calling the shots. That's what I understood. Somebody explained it. That's the way somebody explained it, rather, on Twitter. Fellas, don't forget, this is a BDA call-in show. I got the number now on top of the screen there, so you guys can call in, and you can't miss the number. And we got a phone call here. Let's go to another phone call. Let's go to, hold on a second. Call back, band call. Okay, somebody was calling in, then they hung up. Guys, don't forget to call in. This is your show. You guys get to call in, give us your thoughts on anything and everything boxing. So here's what Shane Mosley said then about the Ryan Garcia-Conor Ben situation. And De La Hoya maybe feeling a little bit salty about it.
Yeah. Oscar talks about the Trojan horse, but he's the one that sold Ring Magazine to Turkey. 100%. You sell Ring Magazine to Turkey to get more power. Ring Magazine is the first boxing championship ever, right? And you sell it to Turkey, so that you know that he's not running things. Yeah.
That is a good point there. I mean, look, I don't think Ring Magazine is as important now as a publication. Most people use the internet now. Barely anybody reads. But it's still, a symbolic, it's a strong symbol of boxing. And that perhaps the most valuable thing they have is the Ring Magazine belt. Because that's the one that for a long time, since 2002, when they resurrected it, I was on board with that. I was sick of the WBA super title, and then the WBC came on board with the interim title, and then you had the WBO. So, guys, you call in and let me know when the WBO became a recognized title, because everybody used to clown it back in the 90s. Then all of a sudden, people are like, oh, you've undisputed in the 4-belt era. And now Haney's a champion at welterweight because he's got the WBO. And it's ironic because usually the people that had the WBO belt tended to be Europeans. And people always, there's a certain American sentiment that, oh, a European bum. This guy's from Europe, he's a bum. He's a European pastry. And ironically enough, now the WBO is considered a legitimate title, whatever that means. And Devin Haney just happens to have it. So that is indeed very bizarre. Let's keep hearing but anyway, yeah, I think there's a little bit of a misconception there. I don't think Ring Magazine has that much power anymore, or that they can sway public opinion in boxing as much as they used to, even under the guidance of the Turki Al-Sheikh. But Mosley does bring up the fact that they do have the belt, and he does bring up the fact that, De La Hoya sold it to Turki Al-Sheikh. And now he says he regrets it. De La Hoya said that. He says he regrets selling it. I'm thinking, well, didn't you think twice about selling it? Look, he smelled the money. He saw that Turkey El Sheikh was giving him money too to hold, he was paying their fighters, the Golden Boy fighters, to be on these big mega cards. He was fine with it. Now all of a sudden, I regret it. They're the Trojan horse, blah, blah, blah.
So what do you think his criticism is coming from, and is it fair for him to still be vocal after having done something like that?
I mean, he can be vocal all he wants, all the time. But do we take him really serious? Is his word really powerful anymore? Yeah. I don't think so. I think that he says a lot of different things. Sometimes it sounds like they're good, but his word doesn't matter in the boxing world anymore. Turkish word matters, not Oscar anymore. So Oscar, we can hear you talk, and it's funny sometimes, but you're not the one making the last decision. It's Turkey.
As for Shakur,
there you go. Saying the lawyer doesn't, maybe that's what's sticking in the lawyer's craw. And all these other promoters, particularly Eddie Hearn, that's another guy that won't stop talking about. In notice, they don't always talk about, they don't mention Turkey, they mention Dana White. That's the one that they're focusing on and turning their ire on. Maybe because they don't want to piss off Turkey El Sheikh. I don't know. But it's an interesting take there from, Shane Mosley. Now, another thing that was interesting, going back to the Haney, Keyshawn Davis thing, I was mentioning the clinching, right? This is from the Quinn Jackson podcast. Now, there's a guy by the name of Bobby Green. I didn't even know who he was until today, when he ended up showing to Dean the Great's boxing gym, where him and Adrian Broner hang out. And he was sparring some of the best guys at that gym. Which, by the way, I saw Wade Clemens talking about, well, Bobby Green's good because, he dominated a guy in sparring who was 19-1. I'm thinking, yeah, but who did that guy fight at 19-1? Apparently, he was fighting nothing but like other influencers and stuff like that. I don't know. That's what I heard. I don't know anything about it, so don't shoot the messenger. But anyway, this Bobby Green guy, I watched some of his sparring session that they had earlier on Twitter, and yeah, the guy can box. But I'm not too concerned about that because those dudes that he was boxing, I don't know who they were. But I found this clip of him from 3 days ago, and he was talking about hugging in the UFC, in MMA. Now, interestingly enough, in MMA, you're allowed to clinch, obviously, right? You're allowed to wrestle. And one of the progenitors of actually good wrestling, because long story short, back in the day, guys like Mark Coleman and Mark Kerr, when they came on the scene, these big, powerful wrestlers, they managed to drop people and just pound them, ground and pound, as they call it. They were the masters of ground and pound. But then other guys figured out that, hey, these are very muscle-bound guys. If we can weather the storm and fight off the guard, we can tire them out, and then we take it to them when they get tired, and we stand up, and then we beat them up. So that's how a guy like Maurice Smith, that's a fashion in which Maurice Smith was able to beat Mark Coleman, and then Petey Williams managed to do the same thing, and then Mark Kerr, he ended up losing in Pride, blah, blah, blah. But then you had guys like Randy Couture, also wrestlers, but they figured out, hey, he was a Greco-Roman wrestler, which is different from the freestyle wrestling that Coleman and Kerr were doing, and he managed to use dirty boxing. Grab behind the head, punching, grabbing and hitting, that's allowed in MMA. But then as the sport evolved, came the arrival of the the lay and pray guys. And that's when things got a little bit more disgusting with it. But I'm going to continue that. Hold on a sec. We have somebody calling in. 205, you're on the air. 205, what's on your mind?
What's up, BDA? Uncle Charles.
Oh, Uncle Charles, what's up, man?
Man, let me tell y'all something, man. And see, this need to be said because people just don't goddamn get it. I believe a lot of people walking around, and if you really look at them real close, they ain't got no damn brain. So then I have to ask myself, is what the hell they walking for? Let me tell you something, man. I watched Anthony Joshua hit the cameras 2 times. Now, either you interested in boxing anymore, or your ass need to get out the game. Your head is soft than a soft-boiled egg. Why would you get in there in the ring and look that bad, and then you talking about fighting the elite fighters? It makes, let me tell you something. He make my whole ass tired, and I'm sick of it. Don't call yourself the best if you don't fight the best. You haven't got in there with Tyson Fury because I believe you're scared of it. You didn't get in there with Deontay Wilder because I think you're scared of it. Oh. And I'm sick and tired of it. And then here go Adrian Broner running around with this dude called Dean the Great with a collar around his damn neck. He said, man, I want to thank that dude right there. I'm a millionaire. I said, how many children you got? 10. Well, your ass ain't no millionaire. So every one of them goddamn baby mamas can take your funk ass down to that courtroom and they will take every dime you got. So I don't know what the hell you think you a millionaire for, because your ass is not. What you need to do with your funky ass is get them gloves and get back in that ring and make some more money. That's what you need to do, because you're going to get locked up and you ain't got that child support payment. I'm going to tell you that right now. A white guy owed $250,000 for child support. He left the United States, went to Costa Rica, went to a little island, rented him a hut. They sent a scuba diving team, came out the damn water, hit the beach, kicked the door in at the hut. You're on arrest. For what? Child support. You ain't going to get away from that, Jack. Let me tell y'all something, man. I'm tired of looking at these clowns on here. What name Tyson Fury? He had a decent fight, but he's slowing down. It's time for a new champion right now. We need somebody fresh and mean. Now, look at Usyk. I'm going to say this in close. Look at Usyk. Say what you want to say about him. He looked crazy, but he can fight. And guess what? He even prayed with Anthony Joshua. Before the fight, good dude, man, good solid dude. And guess what? He still got his ass knocked down. I don't know what to do, but I can't help you because I'm not a boxer. But I'm going to say this. In the 80s, you had this guy named Dooku Kim against Boom Boom Mancini. I think it was Boom Boom. In the 7th round, I said, y'all need to stop this fight. This dude's getting killed out there. You don't came back, you're getting beat up. You come back to the damn corner, you don't saw your draws, you don't get the number 1 and the number 2. They're up there trying to tell you what to do, but they can't do it because you up there no mess in your pants and you up there coughing and sneezing. Don't send that man back out there no more. This man is hurt. He's injured. Why are you sitting back out there? But they send him on out there anyway, and this man died. This is not a game. This boxing game is something serious. So you want to be a boxer, you want to be a fighter, you got to do it with your soul, heart, and mind. And it's a spiritual thing going on. It's a spiritual battle in that ring. You can get carried out that son of a bitch on a goddamn bed at any time, man. I don't understand these guys. They want to look good, but they don't want to fight good. I don't understand that, man. I don't understand that. So I appreciate you. It's more than a rant than anything. We need a new champion because they're not going to get Usyk his due. And now I'm starting to come around and say, hey, this is the baddest man in the goddamn world. Who ain't nobody beat him. So when somebody beat him, then you could be the baddest man in the world. And I appreciate you, baby.
All right. Shout out to Uncle Charles. Thank you for your call, man. Yeah, man, great points. Great points from Uncle Charles, as always, man. I mean, look, yeah, boxing is a dangerous sport. That's it. So that's why I say, look, if you're good, step in. And if this life isn't for you, don't jump in, because then you're going to start doing the jab and grab tactics, the clutch and grab, stalling, the ass tactics. And we don't want to see that. We're paying good money. We're going to be paying. Look, if this Keyshawn Davis versus Devin Haney fight happens, it's going to be pay-per-view. We're going to have to pay extra for it. You already know it, because they're already paying these guys way too much. So now it's going to have to be pay-per-view. And you think it's going to be an entertaining fight? I'm going to be looking forward to it, because I want to see if Keyshawn Davis can deal with Devin Haney's dark arts. But in terms of whether it's going to be an entertaining fight, I got no hopes. I got very little hope. Fellas, don't forget to call in. This is the BDA Boxing call-in show. Make sure to call in. The phone number is right there in the middle portion of your screen, as well as on the upper portion. And make sure to call in. Again, I want to hear your thoughts on Haney versus Keyshawn Davis, whether the Haneys already know they got Keyshawn Davis figured out. Is it going to be a clinch fest? Should that even be allowed? Why are more people calling in the jab and grab tactics? I'm curious. So I want to hear from you guys. The numbers right there on the upper portion of your screen, left hand portion as well, middle hand portion. Make sure to call in. But I was talking about, again, the clinching. That is a big pet peeve, and it's one of the reasons why people always complain. Oh, why isn't boxing? Why are new people jumping on boxing? Because when they tune in and they see Haney versus Cambosos or Haney versus Norman, or Shakur Stevenson running around the ring against De Los Santos or against Nakatila, or barely doing the bare minimum against guys like Teofimo Lopez, what do you think they think? Yeah, we want to keep watching this? So anyway, this Bobby Green character was on the Quentin Jackson show, and they started talking about hugging in MMA. And interesting, because some people say, well, isn't wrestling allowed in MMA? Yeah, but now you got the lay and pray guys that will lay on you and won't do anything. Hence the term lay and pray. They're just going to lay on you and pray for victory. I think John Fitch was one of the first guys to be called that. And then these guys start going on about another dude, another follower, or a neophyte of that style. But anyway, check him out. This is Bobby Green on this Jackson podcast.
Because your fight with Edmund's a great fighter. He was here training with Eric Nixick. But if you have really good offense, you don't really need to go to that defensive work.
Fuck all that. Who started this shit? That's what I want to know. Who started this? Well, I want to feel. Who do you guys feel like started this?
Chuck Liddell.
No, started this new generation of what you said, the hugging. He said, who started it?
I think it's generational, man. I think
there's got to be one guy who started it. I want to see if y'all gonna name him. Who's the guy that started this hugging shit? Who and then all these guys start doing it after. It's like when Dom came with the footwork, then all of a sudden everybody started coming with the footwork after. You know what I mean?
Bobby, it's us versus them.
Get the fuck out of here.
So here's this kind of question. When did all this start? Now, with boxing, it's been a longer sport, so it's kind of hard to identify. But check out what these guys have to say about MMA, which has had a shorter lifespan than boxing.
Who started it?
Don't point at me like you want to do something. Don't do all that.
I'm asking.
Hey, that black and mild guy, you're not in the crew.
I'm asking.
I feel like it was like a full.
Who started it?
How new are you talking right now?
All right, fuck it. I'm shooting first.
Who?
Khabib.
Yeah. Khabib
started it.
Why don't you like Khabib?
He started it.
What did he
And
start?
every guy after that, all the Russians came in, and all they doing the wrestle. Armin started doing the wrestling thing, and then here comes Islam doing the wrestling thing.
This early
and here
in the
comes
podcast.
Shemaya, and all these guys doing the wrestling thing.
Shemaev.
And it's the same thing with boxing. Like, I already see people in the chat saying the same old thing. Boxing's been around forever. I mean, clinching's been around forever. Yeah, so have low blows. So have PEDs. Are we just going to allow them? Because that's the argument people are making. I know there's other people that come in and then they go, no, but it's different with PEDs. Oh, so now you're giving me context. You're not just telling me, well, this has been around forever, therefore it should be allowed. No, now you're giving me nuance. So give me the nuance. I want to hear what is the nuance and the justification for allowing clinching in boxing. Because it doesn't really help about the sport. It makes it less entertaining. It prevents us from finding out who the best is because one guy is allowed to clinch and tie up and prevent the other guy from punching. And when the other guy tries to do something to get out of those clinches, like, for example, use a forearm or maybe try wrestling himself or something, he gets warned. Case in point, Benavidez versus Caleb Plant. So, again, it prevents us from finding out who the best is. It makes for a boring fight, and it's not really boxing. It's against the rules. So this whole thing of, well, it's always been around, that doesn't justify it. It's like, it's as if somebody, God forbid, somebody in your family gets murdered, and you're telling me that story. Hey, man, my sister was brutally raped and murdered, and it's just awful, and the guy's getting only 5 years in prison, blah blah. And I go, well, rape and murder has always been around. What the hell does that mean? That's not the point. The point is how horrible it is and how it should be outlawed as much as possible, and people should be protected from it. And that's what I'm trying to say with the clinching here and the breaking of the rules. People should enforce, these referees and these officials should be enforcing the rules, but they're not doing it. And then you got people out there going, well, it's always been part of boxing. Okay, that's not, you're telling me that it's always been in boxing. You're not telling me why it should be in boxing. So again, these people don't think things through. So I want to hear from you guys in regards to that. But anyway, here's Bobby Green continuing about the lay and pray tactics in the MMA.
And so I like that he's been doing more striking and getting more of that. He's trying to get it down more so I can see the growth.
He stood in the pocket and went bar for bar with Strickland.
I can see that in the growth. He's trying to do that, But a lot of motherfuckers was not, especially Khabib. He was not standing up. Like when he had the time to put on the fight with Conor, like I think it was like one exchange that he actually threw one, Besides that, he was on his hips the entire time.
Yeah.
So you guys started this shit.
Habib was beating he still whooped people's asses on the ground.
Yes.
Then there's ways to do it like Charles Oliveira did with Max Holloway. I mean, there's different rhythms everywhere in every gym.
It's always got to be a justification for these ass tactics, let me tell you. We got, is that Sobers?
What's up?
What's up, Sobers? We're doing a call-in show here. I'm waiting for people to call in, and I'm trying to get the discussion going here because we got the Haney versus Keyshawn Davis. I don't know if you saw that whole drama that was going on earlier on Twitter at the beginning of the day. They went to purse bid, and now we're going to wait and see if the fight happens. The Haneys, I don't trust anything that comes out of them, but neither do I trust Keyshawn Davis, that goddamn psycho. So I'm talking about that, but I'm also trying to transition over to the clinching aspect of boxing. And let me go to a phone call here, and then I want to get your thoughts on this whole thing and some of the clips that I'm playing here from MMA, who they also got their own problems there with the lay and pray. But let's go to a phone call here real quick. Let's go to 929. 929, you're on the air. 929, what's on your mind?
Hello, PDA. What's going on? It's Virtuoso.
Hey, Virtuoso, what's up, man?
Yeah, so I just want to clarify one thing about the WBO when it got legitimized. Apparently, it was 2007. That's when the other three, sanctioning bodies decided, okay, you can join our club. And and today they actually did a good thing. They actually live streamed their first bid for Keyshawn versus Devin Haney, which I respect, but I think this should be done more often with the other sanctioning bodies because people want to know how this shit works. You know what I mean? Some people tell me that it was a blind bid, or that some people get cheat by telling them who bid the highest and see if they can beat that by $1. But yeah, it was a good thing. So yeah, man, the clinching thing, I'm like, listen, I don't like it, but I see the strategic element of it because what they do when fighters are approached by a tough challenge, a puncher they cannot control, they have to clinch to use it as a stall tactic. And listen, with this Keyshawn Davis and Devin Haney fight, I don't know if there's going to be a referee that can outlaw that. That's the thing. Like, we need a referee that can calm that shit down, and allow people to fight on the inside without, tying up and slowing the fight down and putting people to sleep. Now, this fight, I don't know where the hell it's going to be, but hopefully it shouldn't affect, the judges, as they say, because remember what happened with Loma. All two of those three judges, I think, had it wide for Haiti, and it's like, look, it really is important where the fight's being held because, like, certain commissions have certain guidelines, for how to select their officials, but there's some notorious like Vegas that they listen to other promoters, to do the decision making for them. All it takes is a little payola. But I think I want to point out something that Bill Haney was talking to about with the Boxing Voice, right? Boxing CNN. I think he was very, very adamant about his son fighting Shakur Stevenson, but he's with Zuffa now. I don't understand why is he always like trying to convince people that somehow Keyshawn Davis is a proxy for Shakur Stevenson. So Shakur and Keyshawn are like right now, as far as I know, further apart in terms of where they're at.
What do you mean by that?
That's the same thing. And that's the same thing they said with Ray Ford, because Ray Ford is friends with Shakur, and Shockey Foster. Like, I don't know what to say, but dude, you got to move up. If you want that guy. But onto this fight, man. Yeah, I would like to see a referee that would try to outlaw the clinching. I think Keyshawn does present some challenges for David Haney on the inside, but that thing has to be moderated. Yeah, that's all I got, man. That's all I wanted to point out, man. But yeah, good show, man. Good talking to you, man. And I'll listen to the rest, man. Peace.
All right. Well, shout out to you, Virtuoso. Thank you for calling in. And yeah, man. I mean, I'm very interested in that. Oh shit. Yeah, I'm interested in that. Who they're gonna choose as a referee? There was that Taylor guy, the guy who looks like a cop. He was warning Guido Vianello in the Richard Torres fight, and when he said that, he was very vocal and he was very aggressive with his commands, like stop the clinching, and he took a point away. And I said, "Holy smokes, we finally got a referee who's gonna do it right." And then after the fourth round, if he took a point away, he never took another point. And I think at some point he even stopped warning him about the clinching. I said, what happened to all the screaming and all that? So I'm like Virtuoso. I got no hope in some of these referees. If I'm Keyshawn Davis, though, look, he's got the backing of Top Rank. That's a powerful organization. He should be talking about this on podcasts. He should be talking to the officials the week of the fight, the referee. And there's a way of doing it, by the way, without pissing them off, because they tend to get pissed off with that. So that you say, listen, we want a fair fight. And I know you guys are always being fair, so we just want to let you guys know that that's what we're looking for, and we're looking to give the fans an entertaining fight. So that way you let them know indirectly, look, we want a clean fight here. We want an actual boxing fight, not a wrestling match, not an MMA fight, not a crotch-to-crotch type of affair, which some people I bet you out there really enjoy. But that's not boxing. All right, there's plenty of other avenues you can go to watch that type of stuff. But, this is boxing. It's punching, hit and I get hit, not jab and clinch. And so I think that's what they need to let these judges know, these officials know. But again, it's very few people do it because even the fighters don't get they don't even know the rules. They don't even get that. So I see some guys, they get clinched and they just accept it and they're looking all dejected like, what do I do? Where am I? Some of these guys are doofuses, let me tell you. But anyway, going back to that, I was playing this clip here from Bobby Green, who just recently made the rounds on Twitter because he outboxed a guy from Adrian Bronner's team over there on Kick or Twitch, whatever it's called. So he's talking about the clinching and the jab and pray, the lay and pray in MMA.
Different rhythms everywhere in every generation, but
okay, that's
Luke's team.
that's Luke Rockhold, by the way.
He had to go run the safety real quick and protect his guy. He did his thing.
Belts.
But I'm gonna say it like it is, and I had this problem with Joe Rogan. I said I would never want to win that way, bro.
You gotta win.
And you wouldn't want to either. Hugging your way through this motherfucker. You wouldn't want to take it either.
Guys, what do you think about that? Sobers, if you're there, let me know. What do you think about it? Because I know the MMA is different. They're allowed to wrestle and all that. But laying and praying is a completely different thing. You're not even trying. You will get yellow carded for those type of tactics in Pride FC back in the day. So what do you think about that vis-a-vis MMA, but also compared to boxing?
You're asking the comparison between laying and praying and canoodling that boxers like to do?
Exactly, yeah.
It's basically the same thing. The only difference is that in MMA, they're doing it on the ground. It's to stop the action. It's to catch a breather. It's to run the timer off. It's to stop yourself from taking damage. It's cowardly, right? You're trying to avoid a fight. And with boxers, a lot of them do like Devin Haney. He does a little 1-2, and then he tries to grab onto you before you can even respond. So there's no fight. There's him swinging at you and then him tackling you. And that's not a fight, right? That's against the rules of boxing. And the same thing with MMA. These guys will... They're supposed to get warned by the referees. If they're just on top of somebody, they're not trying to advance the position or take advantage of it. If you're doing nothing but the position, they're supposed to stand them up. But it's just this weird favoritism that I guess because a lot of Americans were good at wrestling and that was their biggest asset. That's how I see it for the UFC. And they were just kind of favoring that. Like, let's let some Americans win. And, that's where a lot of that. But now it's gone to where these Dagestanis are doing it and people hate it now. Right? Yeah. They like when Matt Hughes did it. And, I know GSP is an American, right? But he's North American.
North American,
yeah. And it wasn't a big deal when he was doing it like that. He was fighting like that. So it's like his favoritism, right? It depends on who the guy is that's doing it. A lot of people like Floyd Mayweather. He absolutely butchered boxing with his style. Well, a lot of people liked him. And, so much to the point where they're fucking emulating him. So, it's the same thing, bro. One of them's vertical. One of them, they're standing up doing one in one sport and they're laying down doing the other. So it's gay. It's not entertaining and no one wants to see it.
Absolutely. And let me just remind people what we're talking about here. The three pillars of the ass style, or to be a little bit more apropos, the two ass cheeks in the middle of it. You got running, meaning not trying to fight, which is against the rules. You got clinching, and you got not punching. Those are the three pillars of the ass style. And like Bobby Green was saying, do you really want to win that way? Just stalling? I wouldn't want to win that way. But anyway,
a lot of guys do. They don't care by any means necessary.
Exactly. Do what thou wilt. Fellas, don't forget to hit the like. We're taking phone calls here, so make sure to call in, give us your thoughts on what we're talking about here. Keyshawn Davis versus Devin Haney and the ass tactics that Devin Haney employs, clinching, not punching a lot. With his tactical risk-taking as well, too. Is this a tactical risk, a highly educated risk against Keyshawn Davis? Make sure to call in and give us your thoughts on that. And let me read a super chat here, a couple of super chats. Shout out to Hannibal, for his contribution with the super chat. He says, Sid Boxing FU. Okay, Sid Boxing FU says, Hannibal in the chat is a backward mug. Well, now see, Hannibal, don't take umbrage with that with me, because legally I am obliged and obligated to... Obligated, right? Not obliged. I am legally obligated to read the super chat. So don't take it up with me. Take it up with Sid Boxing FU. But Sid Boxing FU, I think you might be correct though. So shout out to Sid Boxing FU for that comment there in the super chat, and shout out to Virtuoso for his contribution with the super chat. Shout out to him, and he says, I think the Haney's hightailed it out of there when they saw Rolly's Judah hip toss in sparring. Yeah, that's a good point, man. I don't know if people saw that. That was from a couple of days ago. That way he hip tossed that sparring partner who was shouldering him, he was being hit with the shoulder, and then Rolly got mad. His head snapped. He went back to the days when his father used to do that to him, and wouldn't feed him for the rest of the day. And boom, he judo hip tossed the guy. I mean, it was violent, man. And you could tell the guy was shocked. Yes.
It was impressive, very impressive. I'm the panel, the expert slam panelist. Great technique, even better than motherfucking. Was it Davis on Nahir Albright?
I don't remember if he did
I
that.
don't know. Keyshawn Davis had a fucking dope slam. That was great, but the Rolly one was sharp. He fucking snapped him over real quick.
Exactly. Yeah, that was good, man. See, judo is still a deadly art, man. Maybe in MMA it doesn't work that way, that great. I don't know. I mean, some people have made it. Caro Parisian was he was a judo guy, but yeah, in the streets, if you grab a guy and you slam him on the concrete, oof, you could do a lot of damage like that. But yeah, so we're talking about that and the lay and pray tactics in UFC parallel the ass style in boxing with the people not trying, running around the ring, clinching. So that's what Bobby Green is saying. He's saying, hey man, I wouldn't want to win that way.
I'm not a hugger. No.
Thank you. You don't even take your hands up. How you gonna hug anybody? We wouldn't take that shit.
I've been hugged.
But they made it okay. They made it okay. So now everybody from that point on is like, well, he did it. He got a world title, and I want to be a world champion, so I'll just hug my way through this motherfucker.
Isn't it about winning a world title?
Nah, that shit gay, bro.
Hold on. Isn't it about winning a world title?
No, that's where they got it fucked up. It's about making timeless fucking shit that motherfuckers want to see.
See, that's the thing. Now the host there that sounds like Steve-O. He's like, isn't the point about winning titles?
Did you hear that exasperated gasp too after he said it's about making good fights?
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, really? I mean, what about my friends? Yeah,
we need good fights.
For who? Yeah, there's people watching this. What? Like they don't even
Right.
understand. There's people actually paying hard-earned money for this. That guy Bobby Green said it. It's about putting on a performance. That's why, like I said the other day, I was watching rewatching the episodes of The Ultimate Fighter, and there was the one with GSP, and he said, he was training his guys, and he said, okay, now we're going to slow down the training, the physical aspect of them. We're going to focus more on technique, or as he calls it, tactics. We are going to focus on the tactics. And he said, we're going to put the artist in martial artists because that's what you are doing. You're trying to offer up a performance, a masterpiece. Hitting a guy once and then running around the ring for 30 seconds at a clip or clinching him, that is not a masterpiece. You can look at the result, anybody that doesn't watch the fight and go, oh, this guy outboxed this dude, that's a masterpiece. It's about how you do it. There's horrible art pieces out there, literal shit. Here in Montreal, in Quebec, there was some dudes were giving a grant because they received government grants for creating art. You know what they did? They shit in some pants and they put it under a glass enclosure, and that was the project. And so some people could look at it on paper and go, oh, they were giving $25,000. That means that's what it was worth for the government. That it was an actual art. No, it was shit, literal shit. So it's
that closes the door for fucking artists behind them to get fucking money to do like actual fucking shit.
Absolutely. I mean, it closes it because people actually close the door because it smells like shit, literally, and but figuratively, like you're saying too.
Well done.
I mean, it's disgusting. So yeah, but Sobers is right. I missed that when the guy goes like when Bobby Green says, "What about the performance?" and the other guy goes,
Like what? Why would you do that? It's about making timeless fights.
This dude has his podcast. Quinn Jackson's probably giving him a cut of it, so he's good.
So I'll just hug my way through this motherfucker.
Isn't it about winning a world title?
That shit gay, bro.
Hold on. Isn't it about winning a world title?
No. That's where they got it fucked up. It's about making timeless fucking shit that motherfuckers want to see.
Do you hear that?
What?
See, that's what it goes down to the base root of. Do you want to watch the fight or not? It's that simple. And then I'm like, all right, it is a title fight, and maybe he might knock the guy out, but really, that guy's gonna wrestle and hold him down all fucking day.
There's ways to do it.
There's ways to do it. In my mind, guys, you tell me what you think about this. And by the way, don't forget to hit the like, and call in. The phone lines are open. I'm going to leave the phone lines open for 10 more minutes, and then we're going to close them because I want to keep talking.
Call in.
Call in. For me, clinching is acceptable. I'll let it slide when a guy gets hurt because that's the first instinct some people have. I mean, that's a fight or flight thing, and some people just clutch on. I let that slide. How about you guys?
when someone gets
first,
hurt,
Sobers?
you go ahead.
All right, word. I think I would say yeah, you know what, clinching, yeah, when someone gets hurt, acceptable. I also think people like Roberto Duran style, where it's controlling the hands. You're in there, you're kind of half wrestling, but you're doing work. You're not tying the other. Well, I mean, Roberto Duran used to kind of tie the other guy's hands up, but I don't know. There's that's the only other example I could think of it. But what the guy was saying is timeless fights, like for sure. That's exactly what it is, and motherfuckers don't want to hear it.
So with the grappling, with the clinching, once you're hurt, I just think that's natural. I don't think anybody's gonna give too much, shit to a fighter who's like, all right, well, I'm gonna hold until I can somewhat get the cobwebs out of my head and fight again, right? If you can continue fighting, then cool. You get knocked out in the attempt, cool, whatever, right? Just try to keep fighting after. I don't think you can hold that too much against somebody, but as far as what Revolution was saying about the grappling, there is a part of boxing that's grappling. It's not you can't hold, you can't whatever, you can't ever grab. It's one arm free and you keep swinging. That's the rule. You have one arm free, you keep fighting. So what Roberto Duran would do, and other guys, Jersey Joe Walcott, Ezra Charles, who else
Foreman.
is
Foreman used to do
Marciano?
it.
Yeah, they would get in there and they would move their hands, right? So it was like a grappling thing, right? But you have to be constantly moving because you'd have to have one arm free in order to not be clinching and be able to hit your opponent. So that's how these guys would fight on the inside. It was like they were like almost like like when wrestlers swim, and they're trying to jog for position, right, to get both underarms. But you have to fight while you're doing that. And that is a lost art in boxing. You don't see guys doing that no more.
Yeah, never.
There's risk to that too, like you got to be active the whole time and be aware where guys' hands are. Otherwise, they could very easily fucking come and get you. You're not just hugging.
Absolutely, yeah. By the way, Never Sober is giving Boxing Chief a run for his money. They're bringing up Ezra Charles and Jersey Joe Walcott. If you wanted to beat Boxing Chief, you would have brought up the original Joe Walcott, not Jersey Joe Walcott. That would have given you extra points. But for the moment, Chief still has one up on you. But I wanted to touch on what Revolucion said about Roberto Duran. Duran did fight on the inside, and he would grab a guy's arm, but most of the times because people were grabbing him. When he would work his way on the inside because he was so vicious on the inside. I'm not saying all the time that he wouldn't clinch, but I'm saying it's a little bit different. Some of these dudes, that's all they jab and then they clinch. That's what I dislike. By the way, JV in the chat says, survival clinching is all right since it leads to an extra round of action. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, that's why survival clinching, when a guy gets immediately hurt, okay, yeah, I want to... Again, I can't hold it against him because it's a visceral reaction. But let me just keep on hearing what this guy has to say here, Bobby Green, on the Jackson podcast in regards to hugging all around, lay and pray in MMA.
There's ways to do it. If you
sell your soul,
if you watch my fight with Lyoto Machida, go watch my fight with Lyoto Machida. I beat the fucking brakes off him. I stood over him and I put everything on him. I never was a down moment. There's certain ways to do the grappling.
That's what I'm saying.
Is that because you were scared to the ground?
Every time I went to the ground, I went to kill people.
All of us at this table, you see us get on the ground, you're gonna see some real work.
That's how we move.
But that's a code that we gotta keep, and we gotta hey. I've told all my little homies, hey, what is you doing? You better be striking, you better do something. And
This reminds me of Frank Bay when he said he went to his gym for the first time. He was clinching, and they said, hey, we don't do that here, man. That's the way it's supposed to be done. I mean, I don't know, man. It is a part of boxing, but that doesn't mean it should be allowed. So it's like low blows. Yeah, they're part of boxing. They shouldn't be allowed because they give you an advantage, and they muddy up the waters when it comes. They muck up the works when it comes to the action of the fight.
No.
Who are these guys?
If you clinch and you let go automatically like Errol Spence did with the Tim Tszyu fight, I have no problem with that. You just clinch and you start fucking throwing. I got no problem with that whatsoever. You let go automatically. It's like a fraction of a second. Clinch, let go, and keep working. But if you just clinching and hugging for, to get a breather, I could let it go for once. But if you do it often, it kills the sport. It kills the momentum. Kills the interest of the fight.
Absolutely.
That's how
the problem is the referees just don't enforce it because in all these little cases we bring up, it's like, okay, someone gets hurt. The referee gives a few warnings while you clinch to, while you're hurt, but it evens out, like what Gypsy just said, guys that get in and then they get out quick before the ref can fucking have to break it up. Like, sure, the refs don't do their fucking job and they let it go excessive.
Right. No, you're right. And by the way, Frank,
Problems are even here.
we're listening to Bobby Green on the Jackson podcast, and he's complaining about the lay and pray tactics in MMA. And we're talking about the parallels between that and the ass style in boxing.
Yeah, no, I don't know who they are. I don't know what they look like.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I've been listening to you. I don't know what they look like though. What their persuasion is.
No, this is a case where it doesn't matter what their position is. It's about what they're saying, the content.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Oh no, because I'm just comparing it. No, because you listen to other podcasts when these guys get on and they get glazed. Oh yeah, you held them. Yeah, it's just a different mentality. I don't know. I'm just saying what I'm just observing. BDA.
Absolutely. No, I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
I get I get exactly what you're saying.
So that they don't get to doing this tight waist. I told you, they just tight waist and hold the lock, and they just hold on for dear life.
You got to work on
I watched this twice last night. Same shit.
I mean, I never thought of ever fighting boring. If someone was booing me, I'd feel like a piece of shit.
I feel like
there you go. That's TJ Dillashaw, by the way. That's the way it should be done, man. I mean, you don't feel like your people are paying to watch you, and this is what you want to give the people, a jab and grab. Go ahead, Frank. What?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna get meta with you, but look at TJ Dillashaw. Can we get a shot of what the guy looks like? Look at his haircut. I know what a TJ Dillashaw haircut is.
Unfortunately, you can't see he's wearing a cap.
Oh well, if you ever pull, if you could show the people who is speaking, but they're kind of like rugged guys, I guess. And you watch some of these guys who dance around the ring, they're all like wearing purses and they're wearing bedazzled jackets. It's just a different mentality.
That's a good point, man. I mean, you look at TJ, and I know people are going to bring up the fact that wasn't he caught using PEDs or whatever? There you go. Criticize him for that, but you don't want to criticize the lay and pray and the other type of cheating. You draw the line with PEDs. I could also say, well, it's part of boxing. It's part of combat sports. No, I wouldn't say that because wrong is wrong. But yeah, you look at TJ Dillashaw, he looks like a salt of the earth type people. He looks like the type of guy who could be in the SEALs, right? Like in the movies you see a bunch of
like
SEALs.
A guy who crushes cans on his face, right?
This guy.
That's a hell of an example, man.
This guy was known as the snake in the camp from what I remember back in the day.
Look at that little snake in the grass. Yeah, I remember that McGregor.
Yeah, he was supposed to be a rat or some sort. The guy that backstabs his own, guys that he works out with and shit. I don't know what the reasons were. I don't know the exact.
And even a guy like that knows the difference. Sorry, Frank, but even a guy like that then knows the difference between a good fight and a bad fight. But yes, go ahead, Frank. What?
No, I mean you look at because it's also what do you call a person's skeletal build? Exo something. Would somebody know that?
Muscular, skeletal.
Oh,
yeah, whatever.
Mesomorph, endomorph.
No, well, you look at people like Julio Cesar had like this. No, because I talked with my uncle who used to fight. He would look at a guy's head and he would see little peanut heads. He goes, that kid's gonna get knocked out. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, the physiology.
A lot of them have little peanut heads that dance around.
True, though, man, that's not always necessarily true.
Look at Julio Cesar's big ass donkey head. Look at it. The guy like,
I mean, they got the bigger the head, it's less likely, but it's not always true though.
No, I understand, but I'm saying they have the square, like TJ Dillashaw has a square jawline. A lot of these guys are talking. They have those type of builds where they're built to duke it out. Right. Am I making sense?
Absolutely. I mean, you take a look at a guy like you take a look at a guy like Devin Haney pre-snack. He looks like a little twerp. Then all of a sudden he gets around with snack. All of a sudden now he's looking like a bodybuilder, weighing 167.
You look at Anthony Joshua's head size compared to Usyk. Usyk got a very small head, but I mean, he can take a better punch than fucking.
Okay, but you're giving us that the exceptions to the rules. What Frank is saying that sometimes, or oftentimes, say, like for example, Davyachenko, who just fought this past Sunday. That's another guy. He's got the head of the Frankenstein monster. He's never been knocked out.
Yeah, with the square jawline. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Usually it's the thin neck. The thin neck is the one that does. Like Tommy Hearns, he could lay people out with his right hand, but then at the same time, he was chinny.
I always felt bad about my big head, man. I always felt bad about how big my head is.
Oh, which head are you talking about?
You decide.
All right. Well, listen, I'm gonna close the phone lines. We'll be back next week. We're gonna try to do a show every day at the same time so that people get the fact that we're doing the phone calls. But shout out to everybody who called in, and we're gonna continue the show. If anybody wants to call in later, we might reopen the phones, or I might drop a whatchamacallit, a StreamYard link. I'm always down with the StreamYard, get new people on. You never know who's gonna call in via the StreamYard. But yeah, shout out to everybody who called in. Don't forget to hit the like. It really helps us out. Now, yeah, back to this thing then. So we were talking. So I think Frank's bringing up an interesting point about how there's a certain type of person that really, maybe it's true. Maybe the physical aspect of somebody, the physiognomy. I forget what the word is I'm looking for, but what Frank was alluding to, that yeah, some people are attracted to the sport of boxing. You see what type of build it is, but now with science and supplements, if you know what I mean, snack and so forth, some guys are able to enhance their performances. Whereas if those things weren't around, they probably would have been doing something else with their life, with their lives. I don't know. You know, it's an interesting thing. The other thing that I wanted to bring up here real quick is Terence Crawford. I've noticed him. After the whatchamacallit, the Canelo fight, around November or December, he was crashing out, as I like to say. He was crashing out on Twitter, going at it with people, talking about, I would have been Deloy, I would have been Manny Pacquiao, blah, blah, blah. He's like thinking, whoa, what the hell? He just came off the biggest win of his career. He's bitching on YouTube, on Twitter, going at it with people. It's like, what the hell's wrong with him? And that's when he came out that he was going to retire. I think it was a little bit before or afterwards. And a lot of people were saying, it's because he probably wanted to stay active, but he wanted a lot of money after beating Canelo, and people realized, like, look, you're not that worth that much. You're not the new Canelo. He probably thought he was. So in part, that was why he retired. Now, people are going to say, BDA, that's just speculation. Maybe, but there is strong evidence to suggest or to support that, because he was on that podcast with, I forget that dude's name, and that's where he said, I retired because no matter what I accomplish, I ain't never going to get my credit. Which was weird because everybody gave him credit for beating
was
Canelo.
on his nuts. You know,
I think
and the only way you know how he would get
retired.
more credit, BDA, if he did it again.
Exactly.
I think when he retired is when he started talking shit.
Right. Okay. It was okay. It was about then.
He wasn't really saying anything at the time. He was actually going out there.
My soul. I don't put a price on my soul.
And
you showing your character.
Definitely has a price, bro. I mean, you can buy that shit.
And then I remember,
hey, Turkey, let's interlock our fingers, but I won't put no price on my soul.
And then in the month of May,
President Trump let you go give me a reach around, but I won't sell my soul.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear an Argentina shirt. I'm gonna wear an Argentina shirt, but then I'm gonna complain about Teofimo Lopez's comments that he's made about racist, as he likes to say.
Wait a minute, he actually wore an Argentina shirt?
Yeah. Yeah, and then people try to defend it by saying, Ryan Garcia and Tyson were wearing one too. It's like, okay, what does that mean? But anyway, look, there's let me
don't make me a coon. So what if I got an Argentina jersey on? That don't make me a coon.
Let me lay the groundwork here, because he ended up in the month of May of this year, he had another crash out, as the kids like to say, on Twitter, where he was going at it with everybody. And that was when Errol Spence finally came out and said that the drinking and the lifestyle took a lot of years, or took something out of his career. And that's when he also came out of the woodwork, Crawford that is, and started going at it with people. Then when they announced the Boots versus Zayas fight, he came out of the woodwork again on Twitter. And now recently he came back out of the woodwork, posting nonstop on Twitter. And he said, and he started the night, and it's always at night, by the way. I think he starts drinking or something. He gets a little bit, crazy. And he said, I got some free time. Ask me anything, or something like that. I'm thinking, what? People are just going to come at you. I don't know. I think he likes it. So he started going at it with people. And why did he go live? Or why did he go on Twitter? That was at the same time frame Spence lost. When the whole thing came out again about how he was damaged goods, Spence that is, and Crawford can't handle it. So now people started realizing that, hey man, Crawford is a bit of a weirdo, because hell of a fighter, but there's something off with the guy. The fact that he's always going at it with people, perhaps some insecurity. I don't know. I'm going to show you a couple of examples here of what people were saying on the Twitter. I'm curious to get people's thoughts on this. Hold on a second. Okay, here we go. Okay, so somebody was defending him, saying, if you don't think it's weird to show up, because then they started saying that Boots is the guy who's jealous of Crawford, that he hates Crawford. And people were saying, what the hell was Boots supposed to do? Not the opportunity was just to spar with Canelo. Then this is what Terence Crawford posted. 42-0, former number one fighter in the world, blah, blah. He started listing the awards he won, the SP awards, which, what the hell does that even mean? He says, sorry, but not sorry for being great. Hate on your mama. And even Rick Glacier goes, Crawford is a very humble man. And I'm thinking, is he being sarcastic? Because there's nothing humble. This is the opposite of humility right there. But then somebody said, he's just a male Clarissa Shields. I'm telling y'all. Then somebody else posted on Twitter, you can tell Buddy's so insecure. Hold on a second. Where's my censorship button here? You can tell Buddy. Hold on, let me finish. Hold on, let me finish. You can tell Buddy's so insecure. Was on an interview saying he made Boots' career, and now he's going on Twitter to post his achievements, but his resume is still very underwhelming. Terence Crawford, you're not getting our respect until you come out of retirement and fight Boots. That's a hungry, young, skillful. Okay, now that's a little ridiculous right there, because some Boots fans are really still. By the way, some of these guys are still old Errol Spence fans who dislike the fact that Crawford beat their guy. And I understand, because look, that was their guy that they could never, the Spence fans never imagined that Crawford was going to be able to beat him. So I understand why they're so mad, but I mean, come on, it's just a boxing match. Anyway, this other guy goes, Crawford fans are weird, man. Crawford got everything he wanted, and his fans, but his fans are still hating on Errol even when he's retired. Is it because they expected Crawford to have the same farewell and love that Spence is getting since retiring? Spence has always been the people's champ, nothing new and nothing against Crawford. And I'm thinking, is that what it is too? Does Crawford feel, because again, he got the love of the establishment. People love, like Teddy Atlas loves Crawford, the publications love him, the establishment love him. They try to ignore all his meltdowns that he has on Twitter. But then again, Spence, I don't know, it seems like the streets are pro Spence and not so much Crawford. Am I wrong in having that perception?
Yeah, because Spence was a likable character for some reason. I mean, maybe he was a party guy. That's probably why. But I think, no, in general, I liked Spence more. And he had more dog in him. The only problem with this dude, Spence, is he had no power. We saw that with the Tim Tszyu fight. If he had any kind of power that could translate from 147 to 154, we'd be talking about him knocking out Tim Tszyu right now. But he just really doesn't have it. That's why he always was at 147. He never decided to go up because we just saw it. He kept hitting, and Tim Tszyu just kept walking and eating those punches, delivering his own. So that was the only problem with Errol Spence. But Errol was a more likable character overall. And plus, Clarissa Shields is no... Bro, Terence Crawford is not the male version of Clarissa. If there was a male version of Clarissa Shields, we'd be talking about Terence Crawford. If Terence is that person, we'd be talking about Terence Crawford fighting. I'll take out fucking Alexander Usyk and shit. That's who would Terence Crawford would be if it was Clarissa. She's on a different level. It's on a different stratosphere. She's talking about fighting men. She's talking about fucking Golovkin. You know what I mean? Like, no, you can't compare. It's not even comparable.
Well, they're both annoying, though. I mean, you could argue one's more annoying than the other.
I think Clarissa's on a whole different world. And if there's a man version of Clarissa that we're talking about, you know, she's thinking about fighting heavyweights and shit.
Shout out to Rafael Garza for his contribution with the Super Chat. He says, rematch clause with Canelo forced him to retire. Bud felt his brain rattled. Bud is hoping Canelo looks bad versus Mbili to decide if he will unretire. You know what? I mean, maybe I think he's... Nobody who talks as much as he is. I'm retired. But he still... It doesn't seem like it. It seems like he's still got a fight lined up or something, the way he's doing interviews all over the place. Anybody... Listen, I'm pretty sure if we offer him an interview, he'll take it. I mean, the guy is everywhere. There's no podcast that I haven't seen him not be on. But in regards to what Rafael Garza is saying about the rematch clause, something came out a couple of days ago that supposedly Bud himself said that, I wanted the rematch, but they're the ones that didn't want it. I'm thinking, what? Interesting. That's his point of view. But again, going back to the Canelo fight, that was a fight where he had to redline it to beat Canelo. I know people look at the scorecards and they go, 8-4, or what were the scorecards? 8-4, 9-3 or something like that, or 7-5. And they go like, it wasn't even close. But you rewatch the fight, he had to redline it. In that one, he had to fight at his full capacity, and he even had to dig down deep in the last couple of. In fact, Bomac was the one telling him, "Look, we need these rounds." Later on, I saw that in that Exodus files. Shout out to the Exodus files; they're the first ones that pointed it out. Evidently, they didn't feel like it was close. Now, some people are gonna come out and say, "Well, that's because they know Canelo always has the judges and blah blah blah." Well, he didn't have it that night. So I mean, it didn't sound like, "Hey, we need these rounds because you know what's gonna happen." No, they're like, "We need these rounds." It was a very competitive fight. Now, I had Crawford winning. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, Canelo won. Crawford won it, but he had to dig down deep. And that's why I think Rafael Garza is trying to get at that. Hey, maybe Crawford didn't feel like he wanted to dig deep again, no matter how much money they gave him. And like he said, maybe, I don't know, is it really that outside of the realm of possibility that he's weighing his options and seeing how Canelo looks in October to see if he comes back? Now, I know a lot of people, now the big one is Boots. Now, how many people watch Canelo versus Crawford? It was 50 mil, right? Or something like that. Evidently, there's a market for that. There's a demand for it. But if you ask most hardcore boxing fans, hey, would you rather Canelo versus Boots? I don't know. I get the feeling maybe Boots would get the edge just because he's a more novel fighter. You know, he's younger, he's faster. Maybe people feel he has more in the tank than Canelo. But those are two options, and I think Crawford knows that. Crawford is a wild guy, by the way. I mean, he's out there getting into street fights, provoking people while playing dice at night with a bunch of unsavory characters, getting shot in the head because who knows what he told them or what he did. I mean, you see him dragging his cousin by the hair across the living room. That's a guy that's a little bit out of whack. It's a bit of a wacko. So when you got wackos like that, they don't stand idly by. That's why that's why he's traveling the world, because maybe his family don't want him around. Maybe he causes you know what I'm saying? It's like, who was the one that Hopkins said when he joined Golden Boy Promotions, he says, my wife is thankful, that way I'm out of the house, I'm not driving her nuts. Maybe that's the way Crawford is. Maybe he's very demanding or something. I don't know. So they're like, yeah, go be an ambassador for Turkey Al-Sheikh and go to all these fights and all these podcasts.
He likes to be alpha wherever he goes. Have you noticed it? I don't blame him, but that's how he is. He's everywhere he goes, he likes to say, I'm the shit, and you better shut the fuck up when I talk. Even though when he's not really saying that, he's implying that by his demeanor and shit. It's a thing with him everywhere he goes. But I understand it. I don't hate on it. But I do think he is a scumbag.
Oh,
even though he's a very talented boxer, I think he fucked over some boxers on the low key, low. And I do think that Boots does hate on him, but the hate that he has on him, he takes that and in his mind he multiplies that shit by times 10. And so he can just shit on him whenever he falls. That's why he's rooting for I'm pretty sure rooting for Virgil Ortiz to knock his ass out. He's rooting for
Oh
Virgil
yeah, I
to
bet
knock
you.
out.
I bet you. And it's interesting because Crawford listed all his accomplishments, all the awards, all the ESPYs that he won and all that. I'm thinking, why is he content with that? Why does he still feel the need to go on the internet and argue with a bunch of people?
It's
because his resume is thin, man.
It's a cross current of the hip hop culture, because in the hip hop culture, they adopted it from I don't maybe it was Floyd, but it's all about dissing. You dissing your ops and sneak dissing, sending subliminals, and they really want to emulate it. That's why they hang with the rappers. The rappers come out with them. It's reminiscent of hip hop culture. Now I could be wrong, but that's how I see it, and that's why in hip hop they're always telling you how broke you are and how great I am.
Right.
I could bang your bitch and take your bitch anytime. That's all it's about. And he's just mimicking, emulating it, because the rappers want to be boxers and the boxers want to be rappers. Even Edgar Berlanga is trying to do it now.
That's a great way of putting it, because I've seen the same thing with actors. You could say the same thing about actors. Actors want to be musicians and musicians want to be actors. It seems like the grass is always greener on the other side when it comes down to it. I think that's the life lesson here. Or it's that grass always seems greener on the other side, rather. But it's true. I think you're right, though, and it sort of answers my question about why Errol Spence seems to be a little bit more loved by the streets. Is because I think people see him as a little bit more street, a little bit more urban. He's the one that hangs out with the rappers. Same thing with Tank Davis. Devin Haney, on the other hand, his ex-wife, she was, a rapper's plaything at one point. Shakur Stevenson, he's trying to be cool with the rappers, but it doesn't seem to gel. I don't know. It's there's something there.
I'll give you an example. If you insult Errol Spence, and not by actually cussing him out and saying something like that, but insult him and let's say you got beat by this dude or whatever, or you could have been beaten by this dude, he won't approach you the same way that Terrence would. Terrence would go into automatic emotional mode, bro. He would say, what the fuck you talking about? Yeah, straight at you. And Errol will be like, you sure about that? Okay, we'll see about it. He has a different approach. You know what I mean? He has a different approach. it's a more likable approach. It's a more like passive aggressive, I guess you could say, probably. But with Terrence, it's more aggressive. Man.
I agree.
He'll
That's a great observation,
like,
Gypsy.
yeah.
And I'm pretty
He's a
sure.
different type of individual.
What's that?
Yeah, he's a different type of individual, man. You see him that $1 million worth of game or whatever that shit, that show that they have.
Mhm.
The way he approaches those two guys, he's like, they can't argue with him, man. He'd be like, man, I'm gonna beat you up if you say anything otherwise.
Well, he was Gypsy. You
yeah.
remember when he was? This was after months after the Canelo fight. He was at some fight venue or something, and Showbiz was there. I think he was working for the Zone or something. He tried to shake Crawford's hand, and Crawford's like, he starts gesticulating very wildly, like pulling the hand away, and then he starts walking away and starts, he starts shaking the head, like, yeah, motherfucker. It's like, I ain't gonna shake that motherfucker's hand. It's like, what? And apparently it was because Showbiz bet against Crawford for the Canelo fight. I'm thinking, why are you taking it personally? The guy bet. He's not saying you're an idiot. He's not saying you're a jackass. He's not saying he hates you. He's just saying, hey, I think this guy wins. And
see what I mean? Like you brought a good point. Now, if that was Errol Spence, you'd be like, well, what happened now? It'd be like, what happened? You lost your money, didn't you?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? Like he would be saying it'd be a different type of individual. But with Terrence, would be like, you lost my trust. Damn you. I'm gonna, like fuck you and everything. I wish I'd bury you if I could, you know what I mean? Like somewhere out in the woods. That's just the type of mentality. He got a whole different fucking mentality.
And you know what? You're right.
like-
Spence would probably just smile and tap you on the shoulder, and he'd probably come out with some sort of like old Texan slang, like all had no cattle or something like that, right? Like he'd try to cheer you up at the same time.
Yeah. Like a more friendlier vibe to him. But it's like a whole different thing with this dude. He doesn't like it. Anybody that bet against him, whether it was a Spence fight or the Canelo fight, when you watch anybody interview him, he just pretty much tries to put them on the spot and like tear their whole fucking character.
And not for nothing, but we know what type of people he hangs out with, like the Shakur Stevensons, like his friends somewhere with Tim Bradley and and what do they all have in common? They tend to make it racial. They go racial straight away.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy thinks I'm gonna lose the fight because he's a racist. They're racist. And then they never provide any examples, by the way. They just, in their head, it's all racism. Everyone's always racist against them. Nobody likes them because, they want to beat them or whatever. It's like, well, I don't know. It's very insecure. It's a lot of insecurity.
They hate us because they're anus.
No, but then somebody put. I want to get to the Boots thing too, because I also take umbrage with the Boots fans. Like, all right, look, if this guy, but I understand why the Boots fans keep bringing him up, because Crawford's the one that's still in the limelight and he won't shut up, and he keeps bringing Boots up too. But this is what somebody had posted in May of this year. This is, again, I think this is around the time where Spence came out and finally admitted that the alcoholism and other things had taken years off of his career. This guy said opinion on Bud Crawford. You know me, I always want the best for the fighters, so I say this from a place of goodwill. Crowning yourself a top 5 and a GOAT, doing monthly rants on social media and calling fans who disagree haters/racist is not likable, fam. We see how so many dislike Floyd for saying that shit, including Tyson and Roy Jones. Bro, you're not even on Floyd and Pacquiao's level. Why are you putting yourself with Ali and Sugar Ray? And call everyone haters, it's ridiculous. This isn't endearing to the public or to anyone. I don't get it, guys, or am I bugging?
Amen.
I mean, I think that deserves an amen. I mean... Yeah, so that's
well fucking put is off-putting to the public.
It is off-putting, and some people. I saw somebody on Twitter saying, "Well, he deserves it. He can talk all the shit he wants." I'm thinking, okay, but you don't see Usyk doing that. You don't see Inoue doing that. The only time I can recall like a guy like Canelo defending himself and sort of allegations that he's not a good fighter was with that fucking Faitelson guy. You know, that guy from the Stripe. Because that guy, he's an instigator. He will go completely the other way to try to get a reaction out of people. So I understand why Canelo would go, but again, I don't see Canelo in the Spanish media going, que yo soy el mejor, yo soy el mejor, a mí nadie me gana, cabrón. You know, he never says that. He never goes around telling he must, maybe
Canelo,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe somebody can dig up 1 or 2 examples, but can he rival Crawford's monthly rants of him going on the internet and saying he would beat everybody?
Well, I think because Canelo, he's polished. He plays the nice guy role. I think he really is like that, but he understands how to sell himself.
He's media trained.
At my family parties, people see through Canelo. They're like, "Oh, he's such a diva. He's such a phony." Like, I don't know. They just, people.
Canelo actually is liked, bro. Canelo's actually liked. Canelo He's a guy that doesn't like anybody. He likes to
Yeah,
roam.
but there's a little bit of I don't know, kind of phoniness to it.
I agree.
mean,
I
I'm
agree.
not that he's a phony, but I
Of
think
course it
he's
is. They're
playing the
all gonna
game.
of course, they're going to be playing the game. They're going to be doing that. Everybody does that to get some kind of likes. But even Terrence Crawford. But the thing is, like, Canelo doesn't have to be out there saying all this shit. His resume speaks for itself, and he also got a huge Mexican fan base that likes him. A lot of times, the only time they
Yeah.
probably disliked him was the Golovkin situation when he was running around the first fight. They weren't liking him then. But other than that, they fucking love him.
Yeah,
And there's also a fan base
for some
as well. But he is a guy that's also unlikable as well. I mean, I've heard of stories about him, treating people fucked up around the parties and
Or
shit
did he
and all
beat
that
some
kind of
guy? BDA?
Well, yeah.
Sorry, brother.
Along
But
in
he's
that.
a loner, bro. That's what I heard. He doesn't like
Canelo's not
company.
as bad as Bud Crawford. There's a reason why Bud got shot. He's a very aggressive dude. He's very emotional, and there's some people that won't tolerate that. I have a feeling he already met that guy, and that's the difference between him and Canelo. I think Canelo, of course, he probably has like some machismo, but I think he's mature enough and smart enough, know when to pump the brakes. Maybe that's his upbringing compared to Crawford, but you can see that Terrence is constantly pushing the limit. That's why he got shot up.
Yeah, and then
Somebody
had to,
said, "Hey, Philly shell, I got a shell for your ass."
No, a shotgun shell. No, yeah. And apparently I read that up because there's a guy on the Discord. He's on the chat in the chat right now. Snackford. He was the one that was talking about how Crawford didn't even get shot or anything like. I mean, he got shot, and so I looked it up, and I think that the bullet we talked about it on the show. The bullet grazed him or something, and he went to the ER probably because he was scared that maybe I did get shot and I can't feel it or something. And apparently he hasn't. The way some people tell the story on Twitter and all that, it's like his brain stem was hanging off his skull, and he drove himself to the ER. He had a little, I think, a bit of a flesh wound or something. It's like.
I mean,
Manny,
is that realistic
man.
that his brains was hanging? Dude.
No. I'm saying the way they make it seem.
Head.
I'm saying the way they make it seem. I never said anybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Got you. Yeah.
How do you not know, how you guys know that he might not be a zombie? He's probably a zombie.
Hey,
You don't
maybe
even
you're
know
right.
this
Yeah,
right now.
like a Haitian zombie or
He's been
something.
voodooed and shit. Yeah. He's been voodooed and shit. He's out there. He's probably someone's slave. I'm playing.
Regis Prograde.
But hey, this is
Regis
voodoo is,
Prograde
man.
fucking
Tell me when they
necromanced
get
him.
Real quick, guys.
when they get
Real quick. This is what
Yeah.
Crawford said a month ago. He said, "I'm better off left alone. Don't make me have to show you why. I'm better off left alone." And yet he always pops up on every other show talking about boots, and he always every other month he has to show up on Twitter and starts going at it with people. So again, this is what I'm saying. There's a disconnect with what he says and then what he actually does. Leave me alone. Don't make me have to show. First of all, the threat. Don't make me have to show you why. Again, always has to go to violence. This dude. That I don't know. I think that's what I'm saying. I think that's why this retirement doesn't sit well with him because that's all he knows is violence, and he can't sit still.
So does anybody answer back? Like, yeah, show us why.
Yeah, plenty of people. People keep, but that's the thing. Yeah, sorry to talk so much.
BDA. Hey, it said post a reply. Go ahead.
Exactly. Oh yeah, now it's a challenge to Mr.
Right
BDA.
there. I see it.
But you know what? Though, that I hate to be talking so much, but that's what I'm trying to articulate here is that people say, well, it's people keep bringing Boots up to him. Okay, he doesn't have to address the Boots anymore. He's retired. He could just say, hey guys, I'm retired. Now he has to talk about how Boots now doesn't like him, how Boots is trying to steal his thunder, how Boots hasn't accomplished what he's, and it's mostly his fans too that are going at it with Boots. And look, I understand that they're annoyed by the Boots fans who keep bringing Boots up, but at some point it's like, hey, can you ignore it? You can't ignore it. You gotta bark back every time they bring him up.
They're worried
If you're
that
truly retired, you don't want to fight. If you're truly retired, all he has to say is, "Bro, listen, I'm a retired fighter. Let Boots accomplish what he has to accomplish. If he's on my level, that's it.
They're
You don't have to get
worried.
into, he's a hater. He's his fan. Whatever the case may be, unless you're gonna come out of retirement and shut him down. If you're gonna do that, that's different.
Yeah, exactly.
They're worried that Boots is gonna surpass Terrence, and I don't think they should be worried about that because Boots would if Terrence comes back from retirement, he still probably beats Boots. I don't think Boots beats him. It's just the skills and the styles and matchup. But Boots may be years from now. How old is Boots anyway?
28, 29.
27, 28, somewhere around there.
27, maybe. When he's 33, maybe at that point, yeah, you could see a different type of Boots that probably in his prime year, then he could probably, surpass whatever fucking Terrence Crawford. Maybe. And
Maybe he can. Hey, you know what, Gypsy? Maybe he can because, again, you mentioned the difference between Crawford and Spence from a character standpoint, disposition. It's the same thing with Jaron Ennis. I've never seen Jaron. We're talking about Keyshawn Davis getting into a fight where toddlers were around. Devin Haney and his posse jumping a allegedly special needs 5 feet 5 inch tall midget carnival worker. I've never seen Jaron Ennis getting into any type of brouhaha like that.
Yeah,
He's always chill.
I think Jaron Ennis poses a real threat in guys like Bud Crawford's mind. He could actually beat him. I could see where he hits hard enough. Terrence Crawford does not have the best defense, especially early. You don't know what could happen. You're an older man. Boots is a lot younger. You just never know what could happen. So I'm saying I think he's behaving like a guy that understands that Boots is the type of fighter that could beat him, could surpass him.
Are we promoting the fight right now? Is that what we're promoting the fight?
We're doing it right now live on the air.
Yes. I think Crawford is promoting the fight more than me. I'm just observing it. He keeps talking about him.
I know
he's the
we
one
are,
that
we are going to eventually promote it because if we talking about it and he's talking about it, then this is the end all be all. He's going to be promoting the fucking Boots and Crawford fight.
I'm genuinely trying to think. I'm trying to think of a time when Crawford, he started winning the fight a little bit, and the guy rallied back like how fucking Boots did. He got rocked, and then he started swinging back. I can't think of anybody who fired back under pressure from Crawford. He's kind of had his way with guys, or it's
that's
back and forth kind of dumb fight like with Madrimov.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, recognize you said that Crawford doesn't have the best defense, especially early. And I thought the same thing. That's why I picked Canelo, because I said, look, everything that I'd seen from Crawford, and I'd seen all of his early fights. I mean, I watched him live when he was on the come up. Never had the greatest defense, and yet somehow he managed to tighten it up against Canelo. And that was the thing that surprised me the most. I didn't expect that.
No, when he switched on BDA, because he does get lazy in the ring. But when he switched on, he'll become very hard to hit.
But the only time I'd ever seen him, the only time I'd ever seen him not get hit that much was against Postal, and that's because he ran around the ring. He back foot bitched in that one. The only time I've ever seen back foot bitch. He didn't quite do that against Canelo, but he managed to keep the hands up. That's what surprised me. Now, if you want to talk about Crawford getting hit, it doesn't bode well for Jaron. And I know we're talking about a hypothetical fight that may never happen, but the way Crawford, keeps yapping on Twitter, it might happen. You never know. But somebody posted this on Twitter. He says, I understand getting caught with shots, but you can't get hit with shit like this. I'm going to show you the clip. Damn near get your neck broke, all of balance, and then get in interviews talking as if people just want to try to start narratives about your defense being shaky. It don't go like that. And then he shows this clip here of Zaya snapping Ennis's head back. All that. So some people in the conversation then started saying, well, you can't see it here for some reason. The comments don't appear, but somebody said, and this is the defense that the Boots Ennis fans always bring up, which is, you're only showing one round. You're only showing one round. I would argue there's plenty of fights where you see Boots' head get snapped around and back to the left, side to side, nonstop. Pretty much very, very openly vulnerable to certain shots. And then people bring up the argument, well, it's boxing, everybody gets hit, which I always say, yes, everybody gets hit, but can we agree that some people get hit less than others? And there's a way to that in which you get hit. Some people get hit. Like Golovkin used to take a lot of shots on the head, but he kept his chin tucked in, and so he was rarely snapped back. Jaron Ennis, that's the thing to me. It's not so much the quantity of times he gets hit, which is kind of substantial for a guy at his level, but it's also the quality of those shots that he's taking. Like I said, his head is getting snapped back side to side. And the argument I always hear again is that, well, you're just choosing 30 seconds. Guys, it's not just 30 seconds. Watch the fights against the Karen. Watch his fights against Romain Villa. He took some bombs in there too. Watch against Kavaliauskas, against Sergey Lipinets, where he got stunned with the right hand. Same thing against Sosa early on in his career. He got wobbled. I mean, this is a guy who's again, if we want to say Crawford's defense ain't all that, at least he showed against Canelo that he could tighten it up. Jaron Ennis, so far, I haven't seen a whole lot of tightening, guys. What do you think? Yeah, against the Crawford type level, because Crawford can't
Well,
crack.
he said the reason, the excuse he gave, call it excuse, was that he was catching his wind, or he just got lazy, like lackadaisical.
That
it was too easy. He was trying to say it was like too easy, and he just kind of had a brain fart, which I don't buy.
Yeah, I don't
and
buy
yeah, it's a little clip, but I mean that's what you do when you're breaking down fights. You're trying to find a weakness. You're trying to find something what's this guy lacking in, and that's what it is. His biggest weakness is those lapses, that defense.
Exactly. That's a great point, man. By the way, did I mention Velasquez when I was talking about Dennis? I meant Stanionis too. Not
I think Crawford also hits harder than he does. I mean, Crawford is his power, even though we didn't see it much because he only fought Marginov over there, and I think he carried Marginov, and a lot of people think otherwise. They think Marginov had his way with him. I think he carried Marginov, and I think he set up Canelo for that fight. But yeah, that's my opinion. I mean, he was battering him, and his face looked like fucking really bad. Marginov's face after that fight, and he carried him a little bit. For 3-4 fucking times, he almost knocked his ass out. But that's my opinion. That's my opinion. That is my opinion. That's not your opinion. It's my opinion.
You know, to me, it looks like Boots has more effective power, and I explain to you what I mean. Like he doesn't need. Hold on. Let me finish. He doesn't need you to wear out. It looks like Crawford waits for you to start wearing out a bit, and then he'll start coming after you for the knockout. You know what I'm saying? So that tells me that a lot of times, I think Boots has more explosive power, where he can create knockouts even when you're energized. That doesn't mean he's a better fighter. That doesn't mean he's better.
The thing is with him, he's got better timing than he does, and he throws more punches in combination. He could, even going backwards.
Crawford,
he's a more dangerous fighter overall.
Yeah, maybe, but recognize
you could be more a dangerous fighter and not have as much power as your opponent, right? Meaning that you got timing, you understand conditioning, you understand when to do it at the right moment. That can make you more of a dangerous fighter. But I'm just talking about explosivity. And it looks to me Boots has more power because he can just go for knockouts, where a lot of times Crawford looks like he waits for you to wear out.
In a sense of,
he's a tactical guy, tactical accumulation.
That's a good point.
Maybe one punch at a time. Probably, you can probably give it to Boots. Maybe, but I still doubt that. I think he maybe what's his name?
Well,
Crawford.
I wouldn't doubt it too much. Number one, Boots is. I wouldn't doubt it too much. Boots is a bigger man than him, and he's punching just as fast, if not faster. So he can generate just as much power as he can, probably more.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue with that. I'm not gonna say anything. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
My big question on it, still, like I said earlier, was I've never seen Crawford like hurt somebody, but then he gets hit back, and now he's hurt. Like how I saw Ennis kind of like he got fucking rocked real bad. They were showing the clips. But he dug in and he fucking fought back. What do you get in a situation? Crawford starts imposing his will, but Boots ain't gonna lay down, and he fucking hits him with something.
Well, the Gamboa fight.
Crawford have the fucking
the Gamboa fight and the
Gamboa?
Velasquez is when Boots Crawford got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt, and he started to bring the pain to the opponent. That's that did take place.
Hey, by the way, I don't know. Recognize, did you time travel back to 9/11 or something? There's a bunch of sirens in the back. The
whole building's gone. Indeed.
Holy fucking Jesus! You recognize like
I'm
no,
downtown.
I'm just getting a joke in real quick.
I'm in
downtown.
I'm in fucking downtown Fort Lauderdale. It's noisy out here.
Oh, okay.
It's like almost like being in New York.
Sounds like Party Central right there, man. Let me tell you.
Hey, stay away from Building 7, bro. It's gonna collapse.
Hey, by the way, yeah, there's because there's also some people saying that, and I agree. Look, Crawford does have very good punching power. The difference is, like you guys were saying, he's more tactical with it, or used to be more tactical with it. Whereas Jaron Ennis, he's the type of guy. He's a demolition crew. He'll go in there and he'll hit whatever he sees. It's like, oh, you're just gonna put the guard up, okay? Bang, bang, bing, boom. Shots behind the guard, down through the middle. He'll just hit whatever, man. That's what I like about him. But he also fights a little bit more up close, whereas Crawford, with his incredible reach, would try to keep guys at long range. I mean, if you want to see comparison, look at how Crawford boxed Avenesian, kept him at the end of the shots, took more shots because he was just trying to really keep him at bay, whereas Ennis took the fight to Avenesian, 8 shots as well. But that was a different approach. Like, I'm going to go at you. Whereas Crawford was like, oh, no, you come to me and eventually I'll catch you with something. So, yeah, interesting, different approaches right there.
Did he stop?
Doesn't the younger guy, I mean, the guy's 10 years younger in his prime. Nobody's talked about that. I mean, the younger guy usually wins.
It's a good point.
This guy's almost 40 years old. And you know, on my screen, they were showing Terrence Crawford marathon. And that body transformation is insane. If you look at him when he was young, you can't recognize him. He's unrecognizable. And I think Jaron Ennis would be the physically superior person in there. I mean, eventually the guy's going to fall off a cliff.
I mean, snack. That's all I gotta say.
They're both on snack, by the way. They're both on snack. So
starving.
No, but look at his body from before. I think it was before. When was his coming out party? Gamboa.
Yeah.
From before that, like his 14th or 15th fight. Like, I know people transform, but not like that.
I mean, yeah.
Frank, you bring up a good point. You know how people love to talk about Pacquiao moving up in weight and he's knocking dudes out. Nobody ever brings up that as soon as, Terrence Crawford went up to welterweight, he knocked everybody out. And this is a guy who was working for Snack, or he was, doing business with them, Victor Conti, when he was still alive. I think a lot of people are hypocrites when it comes to their certain fighters. He's one of them.
Well,
I mean, he'd have to be fucking Superman to come back and fight a guy 10 years younger in his prime. Like, you're telling me he's Superman?
Well, listen, people what people are going to say, right? People are going to say, well, they doubted him against Canelo, and that's always going to be the argument. He can jump up and fight Usyk, and when you doubt him, you doubted him too when he fought Canelo. It's like, all right, that's going to be the argument from here on in.
He's not Superman. He's super duper man. That's what he is.
No, but Recognize brought up the fact that Crawford said that Pacquiao, or he alluded to when that situation where Crawford said that he doesn't have Pacquiao in the Mount Rushmore because he doesn't think Pacquiao did it on the up and up. And I'm thinking, that's what some of these guys do. They always preemptively accuse a guy of what they actually do. For example, here in the YTBC, we've had people accuse some of us, oh, these guys are racist. These guys are racist. And then you hear them talking. Eventually, their true side starts coming out. Like, you're preemptively accusing us of what you do so that we don't look at your behavior and your actions and your words. So it's a very dirty tactic. Certainly not something a person with any type of morality or upstanding morality would do. But that's the name of the game. And yeah, I don't see how you can seek out Snack after everything Conte did and what he was guilty of, and you seek him out. And it's like, yeah, do the blood test. I mean, I want to work with you. That is like Jean Cyril would say, highly suspect. But of course, they don't ask those questions of certain people. The other thing I wanted to talk about here real quick is, because some people were saying that accusing Boots of making his name off of Crawford. But then True School Sports said, no, the guy, he made a video saying that Boots made his own legacy so far. He's made his own legacy by being entertaining and trying to fight some of the best guys. I mean, we know that the Ortiz fight, that fell through. He didn't want to fight him at one point. But so far, at least you can give him that he has been entertaining. So this whole concept of, he's only making his name off of Crawford, I don't really see it that way.
The only problem I got with Boots is, besides him not fighting high-level competition, is the fact that why the hell did you go out your way and ask Canelo to have you as a sparring partner? If Canelo had reached out to you, it would be a different story. He said he went out his way to fucking get to Canelo.
But he knows him. He knows that the Ennises are familiar with the.
Bad, bro. It just looks bad, man. They could have just at least said, Canelo reached out to me. But it would have been better that way.
Well, why does it look bad? I don't get it. Why does it look bad?
Because he looks like he's hating on Crawford. And now you're giving enough juice for that dude to talk shit.
Oh my
you know,
God.
Plenty of
that's what
stuff.
it is.
Plenty of
True.
top fighters spar with each other. Whether he saw them out or not, maybe he said, "Hey, this guy, this is the perfect time to spar the guy, to spar an all-time great. I don't know how many fights he's got left. Let me spar the guy." I mean, there's nothing wrong. But like again, top guys spar everybody each other all the time. Are we gonna start picking and choosing? Yeah.
I could see that. I mean, I would probably do the same. I mean, because I'm looking at it that way. Like, oh, as a top guy, I want to spar him. Yeah, okay,
Right.
great. But the outside fan base is going to be looking at like, oh, this was just hating on
I
Crawford.
agree. Yeah, that's the
especially,
way. I agree with what you're saying. That some people,
tribal, yeah,
yeah, those people. No,
the tribal.
they made it tribal. Like Bernie the boxer is like, man, these guys sold out, sold out. Like, what allegiance does he have to you? Why? Because of the see, that's what I'm saying. They always give themselves up. They're real racists because that's what they do. They look at, oh, we got to have an allegiance with each other. Why? Because you share the same skin color. Like, it's nonsensical, man. It's stupid. It's idiotic. And again, these people always give themselves up or away. But also the other thing is, look, Crawford, one of the things that I think really gets to him is the fact that, yeah, his resume is kind of thin. He's got the Canelo win, good for him. But even he said that Spence shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame because that was the whole discussion after Spence's loss to Zoo. It's like, well, does he get into the Hall of Fame? And of course, the answer is, by the standards of the International Boxing Hall of Fame nowadays, yeah, he's gonna get in. Because I mean, they got Ray Boom Boom Mancini in there, they get Barry McGuigan, yeah, he's gonna get in. But the question was, in a hypothetical, in a fantasy International Boxing Hall of Fame where only the elite get in, yeah, Spence probably wouldn't get in. And months ago, Terence Crawford said that, yeah, he doesn't think Spence should get in. So that's from the horse's mouth. So he knows that his resume is kind of thin. And then with Spence losing and the whole thing about the accident and Spence's lifestyle coming up and the fact that he was damaged goods against Crawford, it reignited the whole thing. And now check this out. People are coming out with more videos of Errol Spence pre-accident. Check out how lucid he sounds back in the day.
The dude from San Antonio, on my figure out ass.
Oh, he's talking about how he beat you now.
Yeah, he beat me amateurs. Look, I started fighting in 2015.
Listen to how animated he sounds. Like he's actually moving. There's some tone to his voice. There's some panache to his tone. There's energy. Now,
Yeah, but all this shit don't matter. You know why? Because Crawford hits a lot harder than him, and he would have done the same fucking damage.
Maybe. But we'll never. I mean, it's undeniable that it's
the Zoo fight was the biggest indication for me.
There you go.
If you were solid, and I was hoping that he was that guy that was going to do that to Zoo, he's going to knock him out. If you were solid, if you were that guy, then you should have knocked out Zoo because Zoo's chin was not the way it used to be.
Look,
and even he had the style matchup to beat Zoo. He really did. And what happened? Zoo ate all his punches. And he came at him.
Maybe Crawford would have beaten him. Maybe Crawford would have beaten him, but it doesn't change the fact that it's night and day with how Spence used to sound and how he sounds now. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Well, that case is different because he ended up in a car crash and all that other stuff. But it is what it is, you know. This fool was never going to go past 147.
Yeah, he beat me amateurs. Look, I started fighting in 2015. In 2015, I started fighting in 2015. He beat me in 2016. I was a year fighting.
Nobody beat you in 2016, bro.
And he did.
Davies sounds drunk, by the way. That's Tank Davis there on the right.
That's when he had his. The amateurs.
And he did.
That's how Spence sounds now.
And he did.
That's when he had his braids. When he cut his braids, he ain't.
No, he beat me to that. No.
Yeah, but look at the energy from Spence. I mean, it's night and day. It's a cautionary tale for fighters out there and anybody out there who he's overindulgent in the drinking and whatever else Spence was doing. Again, I can't. He admitted the drinking, so we can talk about that. But the other stuff, I mean, I can't say it definitively, but yeah, that he was he sounded like he was doing a bunch of other stuff. Now, interestingly enough, too, shifting here pivoting to another story. Shakur Stevenson also doing a lot of interviews, and they're asking him about his favorite fighters, and he starts sounding like Errol Spence all of a sudden. He doesn't know what to say. Check this out.
Who's some of your favorite fighters to watch right now?
Favorite fighters to watch right now?
Have you seen?
Yeah. I like Bivol. I like Keyshawn Davis.
Of course. So he names a guy, one of the most boring guys in boxing, Dimitri Bivol, and his friend, Keyshawn Davis.
I like right now, like in boxing right now.
I'm having a hard time answering the question.
Yeah. Right now, and then something that you like, molded your boxing style after.
Bam Rodriguez, Jerron Busenis, Tank
No Inoue,
Tank
huh?
a good fighter.
He hates on Inoue.
Yeah, no Inoue. What the fuck?
Bro, he hates on Inoue so bad, bro.
Yeah, I know, man. That's true.
Tank a good fighter. Somebody I'll probably mold my style after, probably like the Andre Wards and the Floyd Mayweathers. And
no kidding.
Bud, I watch Bud all the time, so
of course
them guys for sure. And Pernell Whitaker.
So you saw he said Tank Davis, and that's all that the Tank Davis fans needed. That's what they took, and they're like, "Yeah, I told you, he's trying to beat Tank. Everybody wants to beat him." Because apparently a tweet went viral of Tank Davis like showing some shoes or something, and he was in the streets at night, and he was showing a box of shoes. I don't know, it was pretty feminine. Like, hey, here are my shoes. I just bought them. They were on sale. And he's showing off this pair of shoes. And some guy on Twitter said, like, man, this is the type of swag you can't buy. It's either you got it or you don't. And the streets recognize it. And so then a lot of people went at him saying, what the fuck are you talking about? So anyway, this is the clip that the Tank Davis fans needed to show to. So see, everyone's trying. All these fighters, Keyshawn Davis, Richardson Hitchens, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, they all want to beat Tank Davis. I'm thinking, I don't know. They all got fights. Meanwhile, Tank Davis doesn't have a fight. In fact, I think the only fight he has on paper or on right now is a fight with the judicial system. But there is a certain degree of truth, though, to the whole Tank Davis thing. I just think that these guys want the Tank Davis fan base, the urban, the validation from the so-called cool people. Which, I mean, I don't know, man. If you want to get validated by some rapper who has a crime sheet as big as his rap sheet, no pun intended, then yeah, I don't understand why you would want that. But yeah, that's that was Shakur Stevenson there talking about the guys that he likes watching, and he kind of struggling. But he says some of the guys you like watching now, and he ended up going with Crawford, Andre Ward, and Pernell Whitaker, 3 guys that are retired. So he couldn't really name that many active fighters that he likes watching. And don't forget, this is the same guy who said he'd never watched Marvin Hagler until recently. So take what he says with a grain of salt. I don't know if this is true or not. Apparently this is true too. And I have no video clip, so hopefully he didn't say this. A bold take from Shakur Stevenson. Tyson Fury, he said. Prime Tyson Fury, though, would have beaten Muhammad Ali. Prime Tyson Fury is hard to beat. When he beat Wilder, he was 6'9", 282 pounds. He's a beast, though. Guys, what do you think about that?
Fact. That's facts. You brought it up to my world. I mean, yeah, that's facts.
Break it down, Gypsy. Break it down.
When first time I saw this dude, and I wasn't a fan of him. I became a fan after the Vladimir Klitschko fight, I guess. And I was, I don't like Vladimir Klitschko. I like Vitaly Klitschko, but since he was claiming himself to be Russian, I was like, okay, Russian win. He was call himself Russian. And, back in the day, Ukrainians would call themselves Russian.
Okay, Soviets.
Yeah, whatever. And so I was like, you better win, bro. Don't let this bald-headed man fucking beat you. You know what I mean? But when I saw him, bro, I noticed that, hey, man, this guy is very hard to hit. Not only is he very hard to hit, he must have power for Klitschko to be wary to come close, because he was wary the entire fight. And he outboxed the shit out of him for fucking 12 rounds. I was like,
wait, Gypsy, can I interrupt you right there? Because we got to take what you say on that paragraph by paragraph basis. Box the shit out of Klitschko? You want to reword that?
No, I can't reward that. That's my better brother. I can't.
He boxed the shit out of Klitschko. Come on, man. You don't even believe.
Yeah, but he boxed him. He didn't beat. He actually did kind of beat his ass up, because when you look at his face after the fight, he looked like he'd been through the lawnmower. His face.
Well, I can understand if you say psychologically he had his way with him. Psychologically he whooped him because he did get inside his head.
Yeah, psychologically. Yeah, he beat him in the spot. What is it? Fucking the hot steam room.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah. That.
So I guess I could say. I guess I could say Usyk beat the shit out of Tyson Fury, right?
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, he did, but that's a way past his prime. Tyson
It
Fury.
don't matter. I mean, he still beat the shit out of him.
Well, he did. Well, he also got his ass beat up too, though. He almost got stopped in that.
Nah, he
fight.
beat the shit out of him.
His legs gave out. He was praying to
He
God.
knocked him out.
You
He
know
almost
that,
knocked him out.
bro. Why are you getting all your emotional feelings
No,
about
I'm
this
just saying,
fight, bro?
like, your logic, I could do the same thing. I'm just
Well,
using
yeah,
your logic.
I could agree with you. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
disagree. I'm not gonna say it. I think it was a close
Basically,
fight.
what
And he
I'm
had his
trying to
one
say is
moment with the
that
ninth round. Yeah.
I don't agree with you. Is what I'm saying. I don't agree
Well,
that
I'm agreeing
Tyson
with you,
Fury
but
beat
you
the
have
shit.
a problem
Tyson Fury beat the
agreeing with
shit
me.
out of Tyson Fury beat the shit out of Vladimir Klitschko. What fight were you watching?
Oh, he almost knocked his ass out. You want me to show the replay?
What?
He almost
I
knocked
missed
his ass
that.
out. It's on my fucking
I know it's
YouTube,
been a
bro.
while, but I missed that.
Where his legs were all out, and then
You know what?
fucking
I'm
the
not
ref
saying that
comes in
didn't
and
happen. I'm
graded
just
out.
saying
Oh,
I
don't
missed
do
that
anything
part.
to fucking Vladimir. Vladimir might get hurt and stopped, bro. Like
Give
it's
me
pretty
the
obvious.
round. Give me the round.
11th
He almost
round,
knocked him
the
out. So I go.
same 11th round, bro.
Okay, I'm
His
gonna go
legs
watch
were
it.
not on
I'm
there.
gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. Okay.
Yeah, it's the same round that Anthony
And
Joshua
I'm pretty
stopped
sure
him.
you're not over exaggerating. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, well, of course you know me.
Yeah.
Pound it.
You over
Yeah,
exaggerating.
you pound it. Let's go. Let's pound it. Yeah.
I still
Anyways,
remember watching that. First of all, Gypsy brought up the steam room thing, but the competition that Klitschko and Fury had before their fight, years before their fight, where Fury outlasted Klitschko in a sauna, and everyone was leaving, and then it was up down to Fury and Klitschko's the first one to leave, and that's when Fury said, "Aha, checkmate! I got an up on him." We got a photo of them here. There you go. Oh shit! Hold on, that's not him. I'm sorry, that's the wrong photo. But
look, man, I got something to tell you about Shakur. Yeah, you say whatever you want about Shakur. Shakur is a born ass fighter. He is annoying. He's bitch made, but he knows his boxing.
Sure.
He knew that he knows his shit. He knew that Terrence Crawford wasn't willing to fight Canelo. He really wasn't. It was Shakur that convinced him that he has the ability to beat Canelo. He has the skills to beat Canelo. So he knows his shit. When he says something like, yes, Tyson Fury would have beaten Ali, it's not like I knew this shit way back in the day. He saw it too. Like when he put the matchup together, he's like, no, this is because of the size, because of not if they were in the same height, no, I would say Ali would beat him. But because of the reach and all those advantages that he has and the will that fucking Tyson brings to the fight game at his peak, he would have probably had his way. It wouldn't have been easy, but he would have beaten Ali. I could see that happening. And not just Ali, a bunch of all kinds of fighters in history. He could have beaten all kinds. I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying most of them.
I mean, with
How
his
about that?
size, with his size and at his prime, we're talking pre-2015. I think Fury it wouldn't have been easy for any of these dudes. All I'll say though is in regards to the Vladimir Klitschko fight, I remember watching it live, November 28, 2015, and I'm thinking at the end of that fight, they're fighting in Germany. Klitschko is the established champion. It was a very uneventful fight. I was thinking they're going to give it to Klitschko. That's how uneventful the fight was, and I thought they were going to give it to him because nothing happened. So they're going to give the benefit of that to the champion. However, they give it to Fury, so credit to him. However, people in the chat, Gypsies, are sort of taking umbrage with what you're saying. Snackford in the chat says, dude, talking about you, dude says Fury was way past his prime when he lost to Usyk, but Vladimir was 40 plus when he fought Fury.
Well, yeah, he was. No, look, the difference is Vladimir did not do the drugs and alcohol and the fucking becoming 400 fucking pounds and shit and damaging your body. Vladimir was a clean athlete for a very long time, and he still probably is. He doesn't probably smoke or drink or do all this stuff either at this point in time in his life. He had motherfucking six-pack abs. I mean, but the thing is, though, it doesn't matter if you have six-packs or not, but the guy was a clean athlete for a very long time. And on top of that, he was juiced to the fucking gills, just like Anthony Joshua is. Juiced to the fucking gills.
But you know what, Gypsy? You might disagree.
Tyson does juice too, but whatever those guys are on.
Look, I'll say this, man. I don't know if a 2015 version of Fury beats Usyk because even though he might have been younger and he didn't have all that poison in his veins, talking about Tyson Fury, he didn't really have a good right hand back in those days. I mean, I'm
gonna tell you what happened in that.
Hold on, but you rewatch the Wilder fight. You rewatch the first Wilder fight too. Fury is just jabbing. He doesn't have a right hand. It's only when he got together with Sugar Hill that's when he started sitting down on the right hand and started using it against Wilder. Before that, it was just jab, slapping with the left hook, a right hand to the body here or there. I don't know if he might have been younger in 2015, but I don't think he was as technically good. And I don't know if that version of 2015 would have been beaten Usyk.
The 2015 would have had his way with Usyk.
I don't know about
he would
that.
have had his way. He probably would have even stopped him too. The only reason why that he got caught and was a 9th round is because he was winning that round. He instead of being switched on an entire time because he's tired, he decided to pity pad, which was an obvious fucking indication for Usyk to go bang bang with 2 fucking hooks real fast right on his fucking chin, and then that's all she wrote in that fucking 9th round. He was on survival mode after that, and then he came back in 11 and 12. But at that point, that everybody's mind is on that 9th round. What happened in that 9th round? But we're talking about a fresh guy that isn't in that condition, doesn't have that conditioning issues. You know what I mean? We're talking about a dude that's 2015 that doesn't get tired. He's on the game for, you can go for 20 rounds, 21 rounds. No, Usyk does not beat that guy. Usyk loses it.
I don't know, man. It seems to me.
And Usyk knows that. Usyk knows that. That's why Usyk is wishing that AJ can prove that wrong.
What do you mean?
Wishing that, like, it's just like another step down below him. He wants that because he realizes the guy that he fought wasn't the guy that beat his favorite fighter, Vladimir Klitschko. Because they looked up to Vladimir Klitschko back then. He knows that.
Yeah, but what I'm
fact.
saying is, that's the thing. Tyson Fury is a big dude. You put him on the back foot.
If you say a better boxer.
But can I finish, man? Let me finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
He got tired, right? Against Usyk?
Yeah.
Because he's a big dude. Yeah. Usyk had to walk through hell. That's the thing. Not enough people give Fury credit for what he did. He made Usyk have to walk through hell. Not everyone. I don't see many other guys being able to do that against that version of Fury. But Usyk did it. Because that's what he is. You have to break him physically to stop him. You're not going to stop him mentally. And that's what he did. He walked through Fury's big shots, kept on coming, and that's what tired Fury out. I don't know if 2015 Fury has maybe he might be lighter on his feet because he was lighter back then, but he didn't have that right hand that I'm talking about. He didn't have those. He didn't really have that. Power. Watch how he beat what's his name, Chisora in the second fight. He just slapped him because he was bigger. So he's just going around slapping.
Chisora was in the second fight. He hurt Chisora in the second round. He hugged on to leave him to carry him for a few bits. He literally, this is the reason why this Chisora fight was the reason why when I looked at him, I'm like, bro, this guy's a different beast if he really takes his power seriously. And that's why I picked him to beat Wilder in the first fight. I was like, this guy ain't no joke. If he takes his boxing serious, he's a fucking threat to anybody. And that's when I started to gypsy train. Is I was like, oh, you know what? This guy's gonna beat everybody. He's gonna come back and he's gonna start beating everybody. And guess what? He was the one who went to undisputed. He's the one who got to that undisputed fucking point. Not Anthony Joshua, who was scared shitless to this day, still scared shitless of fucking Wilder, bro. I mean, I'm not gonna fucking close my eyes for that shit, bro. Come on, let's be real. Like, the guy's chin, you guys all saw it. This is what his situation is. That's why he was scared. It wasn't like now. This was like a fucking long time ago already, bro. And now, what's his name? Carl Froch is coming out and saying, yeah, we always knew that his chin was like this. Like,
well,
bro,
speaking, okay, let's pivot a little bit because, I mean, we're talking about a hype, what could have been had they fought when Tyson Fury wasn't a drunkard or whatever. I want to pivot to
his moment to get to
Gypsy. Yeah. Let's move on to the whole Fury Joshua thing versus Pranga, because I haven't rewatched the entire fight yet. I'm gonna do so. I think probably today after we're done with the show. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. By the way, hit the like. Really helps us out. Subscribe if you yet to do so. So I want to rewatch the fight because you can throw fights and you can fix fights and people can throw fights in boxing, but I just don't know what to make of the Pranga thing. But I wanted to bring this up. There's a guy very well known in Twitter, Adam Abramowitz. I think he's an insider or something because he usually comes up with some interesting takes. So he went online on Twitter and he said this sarcastically, in parentheses here or in quotations. I want you to fix a fight, but first knock him down twice. But make sure you knock him down in ways that he'll get up again. End quotation. And then he goes, does anyone actually consider how ridiculous that sounds? I mean, use what's left of your critical thinking faculties. So I remember thinking, okay, that's not you're putting it in the worst light possible, saying you're creating a scenario that wasn't necessarily how it occurred, is what I'm trying to get at. In other words, he's saying, well, why would a guy who's fixing the fight go out there and try to knock the other guy out? Maybe he didn't try to knock him out. Maybe I'm playing devil's advocate here. Maybe he actually hit the guy with a little bit of a shot and didn't expect Joshua to go down or for that light punch to have that effect. But anyway, I'm more interested in what people are saying here. So check out. Somebody said people are agreeing with him. But then there's other people that go, yes, okay, so some people are agreeing with him. Hold on a second. So yeah, some guy disagrees with him. He says, it didn't go to plan until the second when he didn't throw a punch. And then Abramowitz says, yeah, but like the plan was to knock him down twice? Come on now. And somebody says, no, but nothing explains why he came out in the second, like someone who didn't know how to throw. Now, again, I've said that the reason why he probably didn't throw, I'm talking about, what's his name? Prenga, it's because I think Prenga froze. And somebody said that, and that's what Abramowitz agrees with. But then there's other people saying it's because it's Anthony Joshua. Okay, some people are defending Joshua, saying that he's a victim.
He became a victim all of a sudden.
Yeah, the guy says, check this out what he says. It's because it's Anthony Joshua. Anyone else would be called the greatest comeback ever. Because it's him, it's a fix. The slander he's had his whole career is actually fucking embarrassing. I mean, that again, that's a victim mentality because I've seen Tyson Fury get plenty of shit. I mean, when he struggled with Ngannou, people were clowning him. You think if Canelo went through this, again, it's a hypothetical, but Canelo has been clowned for certain things. I mean, people clowning for losing to Crawford. People keep saying, oh, he lost to a welterweight, even though the guy wasn't a welterweight. Certainly didn't look like it on Fight Night either. But again, see, that's what I'm saying. People get clowned for everything. So you can be selective and go, oh my God, this guy's a victim. But no, it's the internet.
See what happened? BD, see what happened is this, bro. They thought Prenga was a dangerous fighter because he got power, but they thought he's a pushover that, AJ would just work him with the jab and catch him in, and that'd be end all be all, and he probably doesn't possess like crazy power or whatever, and we shouldn't worry too much about him. So the first round was a real fight. Prenga came out there, did his thing, dropped him 3 times or 2 times. Some people say it's 3 times. One of the ropes caught fucking AJ or whatever, 2 or 3, doesn't matter. Then what happens is he's notified, hey man, and you see in AJ's eyes looking at him straight after getting up. It's like, hey, he taps his chest. Is this my shit? You're not gonna fucking take it away from me. And I guess that was a telltale sign. They probably had it. They were talking about it before the fight, signing the contract and all that kind of stuff. This is what's gonna happen. And then you're gonna do no punches. You're not gonna throw no punches, and I'm gonna tee off on you.
Well, this is what this guy said. This is what this guy.
Fight, there's a lot of money to be made. So, like, big fight, a lot of money to be made. We're gonna tee off on you.
This is what this guy said.
AJ tee off on you, you're gonna get knocked the fuck out.
Listen to what this guy said. This guy said the fix wasn't pre-planned, silly. It wasn't meant to be because AJ was expected to smash the guy up and look good and move on to Fury. It was only once Prenga was bouncing AJ all around the ring that everyone panicked and Prenga's corner were told to calm their boy down. And then Abramowitz says, I love fan fiction. So he's being snarky, right? He says, oh, I love, like, you're painting fan fiction. And then the guy says, I love logic. How Prenga fought in the second round made absolutely no logical sense. And then Abramowitz replied by saying, fighters get spooked. They punch themselves out. Those happen much more than mid-fight fixes. And then the other guy, now it's the other guy's turn to be snarky. He says, that's a very cute story, like a lullaby. So you see, snarkiness begets snarkiness. I think that's in the Bible somewhere. So,
bro, like, if he wasn't tired, nothing showed that he was tired. Absolutely. And he had this man all over the fucking ring, man, ping-ponging. You know what I mean? From one side of the rope to the next side, bro. Like, he had him. It's whole horseshit. I mean, Paulie Malignaggi, I never thought I would see Paulie Malignaggi come out there and say, fight might be fixed. The fool literally came out there and see all the fights he's seen. The low blows from Andre Ward on Kovalev and everything, all this fucking shit that he's seen. He literally came out there and it's like, bro, I think this shit was fixed. I mean, how fixed can it be? I mean, to come out and say, this shit might be fixed, bro.
I don't know. Look, man, I'm
Look, Walk versus Fury was also fixed, but the difference with Walk and Fury was that Walk and Fury are friendly together, and Fury didn't want to beat the crap out of him and put that guy even worse in the condition because he's already an old man. So he told him, this round, that's it. You're gonna quit on this round, and he gave him a nod,
and he did exactly what Fury wanted him to do. He quit because he was going to get battered, and it's going to be bad for a guy that old. You know what I mean?
I
But
love
one
Gypsy. I love fan fiction. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, but I mean, look. No, but look, Gypsy, I'm still unconvinced about whether Brian got through the fight because again, the guy is not is. I don't want to sound mean or anything, but the guy is a low level boxer. He'd never been in the ring against somebody like Joshua. I expected him to freeze from the get go. He just so happened to fucking Joshua started out too slowly. The guy got off with a shot. And again, this heavyweight boxing and Joshua, not for nothing. I'm not going to say he's chinny, but he doesn't have the greatest chin either. And so it makes sense that once Joshua got going, the other guy froze. Again, I'm not willing to die on that hill, but if somebody wants to say that it was a fix, because we've been through this rodeo numerous times before with other fights, I need to see more evidence because then it becomes.
I'll give you one because like my shit was not working. I had poor signal last time when you showed me that photo of Anthony Joshua's face, and I couldn't say anything because I had poor signal. You were asking me what I think about that face. If you posted it up, like that fucking face that he had.
You're talking about this one that I'm putting on right now?
Yeah, that face. I mean, just look at that face. That's like he put his hand in the cookie jar when he wasn't supposed to. You know what I mean? I mean, just look at that face, bro. That tells you everything you need to know, bro. That's the face that, I did something that, did you guys see it? No one saw it. My mama, my papa didn't see that shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it looks like, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, it was so obvious. And to say otherwise, it's like, okay, all right, okay, we can play that game. But anyways, if that's the case, even let's just say this is what happened. Let's say this is real and this is not a fixed fight. I've always said his defense ain't great. And Bucho's saying, well, what about Tyson Fury's? Well, Tyson Fury, yeah, he puts his hands down. But the difference with Tyson Fury's defense is that he has a better ability to gauge distance. And plus that reach that he has, which he's going to have a reach advantage over this guy, which he was kind of struggling with Wilder with the reach. But against this dude, he's definitely going to have a reach advantage. And, for him, he's a great, he can tell the distance really good. That's why even with freaking Usyk right in the pocket, he was having a hard time touching him a lot of times. He got hit there's a little clip of Usyk just trying to touch him up in a close range and missing every shot, gets hit with an uppercut, and Fury hits him with an uppercut, Fury, and then moves out the way. Like, you can't tell me that AJ can move like that. AJ cannot move like that.
I mean, the last time we saw Joshua really boxing on his toes, and that was against Luis in the rematch. And I've often said too is that was his moment of purification or of redemption because he'd been stopped in the first one, obviously, and then in the rematch he's able to avoid the power and cruise to a decision. But I've often said. And it's, it kind of sucks because you're taking away from Joshua's victory, but it's the truth. That was a fat ass Luis. That was a 300-pound Luis. And again, that's not Joshua's fault. He trained, he slimmed down, he trimmed down, he did what he was supposed to, and Luis didn't. But again, I couldn't help but wonder after the fight is what would have happened had Luis shown up in shape like he did for the first one. So it's almost as if, okay, you beat Luis, but you didn't beat the best version of Luis, so I don't know how good you really are. And not for nothing, man, but your strongest argument, Gypsy, would be when you compare Fury and Joshua is that Fury knows how to get out of trouble and stay composed. Joshua doesn't. I mean, I give you an example. The Luis fight, the first one, he's laughing when the first time he got hurt, he started laughing. And then when they stopped the fight, people often bring up the fact, did he quit or didn't he quit? Blah blah blah. To me, it seems like he didn't want to be there anymore. He's looking around the ring. The referee's asking him questions. Josh is looking at his corner. He's not replying. It looks like everything I read from his body language is he wanted out. Then in the Dubois fight, he gets dropped. And what does he do? He starts smiling. He starts playing up to the crowd. It's almost like he's trying to show, I'm not hurt. Hey, we know you're hurt. So instead of trying to play up to the crowd and being theatrical and bombastic, just try to get out of those rounds. Do what you got. He doesn't. His leg, it's almost like his legs can't support the weight. Whereas Fury, he'll fucking rope a dope, he'll slip and slide, he'll get out of there, man. That's to me the thing is.
Clinch his way out of it. He'll clinch, he'll breathe, he'll do any way out. He'll move side to side, he'll do whatever it takes. Even if it, he'll find a way, man. I mean, it's crazy to see after that 9th round with Usyk You would think someone like that would just. I thought he was probably cooked after that 9th round. I was like, I looked at his face. I'm like, he's done, bro. Like you made a mistake, one little mistake against this dude, and this is what this you deserve it. You got paid like this is what you get. Deserve this kind of treatment after this, and then. Because you pretty much were playing around with Usyk instead of taking him seriously in that 9th round. This is what happens, and then he comes back, man. In the 10th fucking round, bro, he comes back. He takes it like a round off. You see Usyk just throwing everything in the kitchen sink, trying to get him out in the 10th round, and then that's the round that Usyk wins. In the 11th round, he's coming back, bro. He's in the fight. He hurts Usyk in the 11th round. I don't know about that. Crazy. No, like he hurts him, not like fuck it. Oh my god, like we saw in the 7th round where his leg is wobbling, but. Like a hurt that is like you see him buckle, like you see him like what the fuck did I just get hit with? It was like a hook of some sort. I forgot what punch he hit him with. It was a right hand, or I think it was a right hand, but it was kind of like an overhand right, something like that. He hurt him, and then he's into the fight. He won one of those last 2 rounds. You know what I mean? He didn't win both of them. He won one of the last 2 rounds for me. But he didn't win the fight. I never once said he won the fight. Like a lot of these clowns be, incentivizing that. I said that he won the fight. Olaf said that he won the fight. I never once said that he won that first fight. I'm the one who said that he won the second fight.
One of the reasons why I am looking forward to that fight a little bit, the Fury Joshua fight, and I don't think it happens. By the way, I think there's too many things surrounding that fight that are going to prevent it from coming to fruition. But one of the reasons why I sort of want to see it is, first of all, I'm not a big fan of either guy. I wouldn't know who to root for. Both guys are kind of rub me the wrong way. But I gotta tell you, I don't think it's gonna be an entertaining fight either. Hopefully, I'm wrong, because I was wrong about Usyk Fury. By the way, I thought it was gonna be a clinch fest, and it turned out to be one of the best fights of the year. One of the best high level. How many times do we see a high level fight and then it doesn't live up to the hype? That one actually surpassed the hype, because I went in there with low expectations. But anyway, Joshua Fury, I'm very intrigued just to see finally, just a finality to it. Like, okay, who really was the best between both of you guys? We can compare resumes, we can compare how you guys got out of trouble, blah blah blah. Now let's see you guys throw down. So that's why I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Beater Biv and Bivol, the first one, wasn't that eventful, right? Like it was good to watch, and to me there was one clear winner, but it wasn't that entertaining. But them two heavyweights fighting, that shit was the first one very exciting, right? I mean, compared, even though they're technical, they're both technical. Both fights are technical, but one was more entertaining. I think because of the fact that even though I do value Arthur and Bivol's high IQ, they both got high IQ, but I think Arthur's more between the two, more experience, more everything. I think these two guys in a heavyweight, even Fury, as they say, he's this and that, he's blobby. He's got super high IQ. The only reason why he is where he's at is because of his IQ. He has a lot of understanding. He's seen a lot of this like old school boxers as well. And as you said, he knows how to get out of bad situations. He knows how to, turn things around. This is what makes this guy special. That's why no one's ever stopped him. I mean, if he was that, garbage, then someone should have stopped him by now.
You know what's interesting, man, about that you mentioned it? I know hindsight's 2020. Ngannou, he gave Fury a very tough fight. Some people felt he should have won it. And then Joshua decimated Ngannou. In hindsight, Ngannou, instead of trying to box, because he did have success against Fury, kept him at bay with that lead hand, and he tried to do that same thing with Joshua, but except Joshua has a better, straighter right hand than Fury. He should have jumped on Joshua. He should have jumped on him from the get-go, because I don't know if Joshua would have gotten out of that fight.
Look, Joshua, Francis, first of all, didn't even land a punch on Joshua. He wanted to get something out of him, and then he just got countered. He was trying to throw something, I forgot what it was, and he got hit with the fucking backhand. He didn't touch fucking AJ. AJ is known for power, but his chin is sus. But he didn't touch Joshua. That's what people don't know about. On top of which, I don't think the fight with Francis and Fury was a real fight.
All right. Listen, it's too late for this. It's too late for that.
I know. But I'm gonna tell you something, bro. I'm gonna tell you, he lost. Francis lost that fight. It wasn't. It's like but the haters would like to see Fury lose no matter what. I get it. He lost that fight,
96, 93, and I scored the same way. The judges, the refs had it. You know what I mean? But the thing is, he could have rematched him, but he couldn't because there was the Usyk fight coming up. The Usyk fight was coming up, so he couldn't have rematched Francis to do it. But guess what? Usyk, or should I say Alexis, who, yeah, he lost in my eyes. We all saw it that he was losing on Rico, even though it's a fixed fight or whatever it is. Why didn't you do a rematch? Who's the next guy you're gonna fight? Fury? No, Fury's out there with AJ. Who are you gonna fight? No one. You're not fighting Caballero.
I hope he doesn't fight Wilder, man. I hope he doesn't fight Wilder. That is
no, I don't mind fighting. No, I don't mind it.
I do mind it. That's what I'm saying. I mind it, and that's all that matters
fine,
here.
But it's a legacy thing. Like you fought the one of those guys.
Nah, what legacy? What legacy? Get out of here. No, but I wanted to say this. Look.
But I'm gonna finish it. Instead of rematching Rico, you're talking about John Jones, bro?
Yeah, that's, I mean, I don't know if he brought it up. Somebody else brought it up. I don't know if it was him, because usually people attribute things to other people, whatever. What I'm trying to say is, people. I want to revisit what I said about Ngannou jumping on Joshua. Look, probably Joshua knocks him out either way. But what I'm saying is, in hindsight, when you take the fight to Joshua as opposed to trying to fight boxing from the outside, I mean, the only guy who could really counter Joshua and have him in trouble was Ruiz. But that's his game. That's his bread and butter. Ngannou tried to box him the way he boxed Fury, and it didn't work. He should have just jumped on Joshua from the get-go. Okay, you get knocked out, maybe. But at least you give yourself a chance that maybe you were able to catch, what's his name, Joshua, because look at what Penenga was able to do. Now, one last thing with what I mentioned here, moving on to another subject, away from the heavyweights. We're in a bad age, man, because we've got Keyshawn Davis versus Devin Haney. If that happens, that's going to be pay-per-view, and it's probably going to be a very boring, uneventful fight. Then we got Teofimo Lopez taking on Rolly Romero in August. Now, when is it? September, August? It's August the 22nd. Oh, it's already. Oh, so in 22 days. Wow, or thereabouts. Jeez, it's they don't give these guys a lot of chance to train. I guess. Maybe the fight was already done a month ago, and these guys already knew. But the point is, they already announced the undercard for that fight, and doesn't make it any better paying for it, because look, check this out. This is the top press release. Rising stars and top contenders enter the ring for explosive Rolly versus Teofimo pay-per-view undercard matchup Saturday, August the 22nd. Middleweight star Yoeli Hernandez duels veteran Argentine contender Francisco Daniel Veron in the co-main event. That's the co-main event. So this one is probably, it's a kind of a good fight. Yoeli Hernandez brings it. He's from the new school of Cuban style, which is to actually bring it, not run around the ring and shake their asses. And Francisco Daniel Veron, he's been fighting on Pro Box. He's actually pretty good. A long-range Argentinian guy, very good to gas tank. So, okay, that's a good, interesting fight. But pay-per-view, co-main event for a pay-per-view, I don't know. Plus, exclamation point, interim WBA Super Bantamweight champion Victor Santillan battles top 122-pound contender Antonio Russell. Sensational prospect Carlos Urethra makes a U.S. debut against super lightweight contender Israel Mercado. In an opening attraction. Are those the only fights they've got? Maybe they'll add another one, but so far, none of this sounds pay-per-view. By the way, so for people that are wondering who the fuck is Santillan, he's a Dominican fighter, undefeated. And Antonio Russell, I think he's one of the Russell brothers. I think he's the one that lost to Edwin Rodriguez a couple of years ago. And yeah, okay, I'm looking at his record. That's the same guy. He lost to Emmanuel Rodriguez in 2022. Then he stayed idle until 2024. Then he fought in August 2025 and hasn't fought since. So there you go. A guy who's been inactive for 8 months. That's the guy they're putting on the undercard. And Yoeli Hernandez versus a guy from Pro Box. Which, again, not a bad fight. Probably will be entertaining. But pay-per-view? Guys, what am I missing here? Are they begging us to fire stick this fight?
I mean, maybe it's because of Rolly's mouth. That's probably why it's pay-per-view. Rolly got a big-ass mouth. I mean, he was kind of selling that with the Tank situation, remember? Nobody asked for that fight with Rolly and Tank, and Rolly's kind of sold it, you know.
That's true.
Well, got a lot of, yeah. Probably what that's what it is. Because Teo's cringe as fuck. Teo cannot really sell that well.
Yeah, so I don't know, man.
I'm thinking Rolly. Rolly's the reason.
But even then, I mean, again, we're seeing the problem, Gypsy, with these guys that aren't big attractions, and yet they're being put on pay-per-view. What? Well, I don't know what these guys are thinking over. Maybe they have to do it on pay-per-view because the money that they're paying these dudes, they have to hold a pay-per-view. But then it's nonsensical because you're putting this guy on pay-per-view and you're gonna lose money on the pay-per-view. No one's gonna buy this. Hardcore boxing fans. And in North America we might be 500,000 if you combine Canada and the United States, which usually have the same buying model. Mexico, I don't know how. I haven't seen Mexican TV in a while, but they have a completely different. Usually, it's a different broadcasting situation with them. I mean, the Canelo fights were being shown for free over there for a while, not pay-per-view. So I don't know what they're thinking, man. Putting this card. I mean, Recognize and Frank, what do you guys think about this? Hernandez versus Veron and Santillan versus Antonio Russell as a pay-per-view undercard.
Yeah, there's no value there. I mean, and they think in 2 weeks it'll be Ryan and Ben. Well, it should be free, right? That's a free pay-per-view.
Well, sorry to correct you.
Pay-per-view, it's on Paramount.
That's in September.
Sorry. Yeah, this is in August, right? 22nd. So in relatively 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to get a bigger card that you're going to have more access to that you're not going to have to pay $80 for.
That's a great
is what I'm saying.
First of all, yeah, I thought you were saying that I misheard you about the Conor Ben thing, but you're right. Yeah. This is pay-per-view. Ben versus Garcia, which will probably be a more entertaining fight on Netflix. You don't got to pay extra. You don't got to go through the whole rigmarole. You don't have to go to the taqueria and lie to your wife like, yeah, I'm going to a taqueria. Now you're actually going there to watch a fight because you can't afford
there's
it.
no value for there's no value for the boxing fan. There's just, the Yeleni, they might be good fights, but nobody's going to know the names. I've probably seen Vern, and I know Yeleni Hernandez, but the other guys, probably have seen them, but I'm not even too sure about them. And yeah, there's no value. And I think.
Well, you're not excited about seeing Carlos Urethra on the undercard?
No, man, it's something I could miss. That day. I mean, who knows what I'll be doing that day? I mean, it's a Saturday too.
Exactly.
End of the summer.
I mean, if I was a gynecologist, I would have missed it.
No, you're right, Frank. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was done.
I mean, you're making. See, you can make a case for buying a fight or against it, and you're making a case against it. It's at the end of summer. The dog days of summer are coming to an end, and you're gonna want to spend it paying money to watch this. I mean, it's, and then on top of that, I
might have a fantasy football draft that night. Like it's fantasy football. Football's coming up.
Yeah, I'd rather do that.
Shit to do. Yeah. People got shit to do, man. What
fight are we talking about?
Romero versus Teofimo Lopez.
The undercard. And we're getting a free fight this weekend. It's all about value, man. And also the time you spend is the value too. It's like, okay, I got a Saturday night, like you're saying, it's the end of summer. I might be at an amusement park or something,
Yeah, shitting your pants in an amusement ride.
For a minute.
Let me just finish this point, because with Ennis, and I made this point before with Duran Ennis and Xander Zayas, I had to tell Grandma I wasn't making her birthday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't want to do that
thing. And even Zepeda and I'm gonna miss an event I'm gonna stay home and I'm gonna watch Zepeda and Roach. I feel it's can't miss, especially if I'm on here talking boxing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that. I mean, I can miss the undercard. I'm not going to be in a rush.
Did you send Grandma a gift at least?
Yeah, I gave her a gift. I sent her a card. She didn't miss me, but it looked bad. Like, damn, really?
He sent her a box of mazapan. That's what he sent her. But yeah, no, you're right, man. I mean, I have to do it because I'm a boxing junkie and I have a responsibility not only to our viewers but to our constituents as well to cover these fights and to give them a show. But normally, under other circumstances, I'd be thinking, man, do I really want to spend money on Teofimo Lopez versus Roy? First of all, it's two counterpunchers, and they know each other, so they're probably not going to go all out. They're going to test the waters first. And then on top of that, again, the undercard. Yoeli Hernandez, okay, that's a good fight against Veron, but it's not pay-per-view level. And then Antonio Russell versus Carlos Urethra. I mean, I'm sorry, man. I don't know if that's worth the paper. I
don't even know what the fuck that is. But yeah,
exactly. And then on top of that, They're gonna do the main event all the way up until midnight, probably 12:25 a.m. And they're gonna hold 30-minute intervals in between fights because they're gonna have to get Carl Frampton's opinion and Tony Bellew and a whole bunch of other people.
This is why I
I
love
heard that
Discord.
urethra
This is
pisses
why I
on
love
everybody. It's
Discord.
that good.
This is why I love Twitter. This is why I love the internet. Go watch these fights whenever I want.
Exactly, man. Yeah, it's
And I don't give a fuck about none of these haters. Oh, you don't support. Hey, eat it. All right, eat it.
now
I
you
don't care what
supported
you have
them.
to say.
You supported them long enough. Now they're giving you shit.
Oh yeah. I supported them long enough. Trust me. I spent a lot of money on pay-per-view. How many people you know bought Roy Jones versus Eric Harding on pay-per-view? Okay.
I mean, that says it
Hey
all right
man,
there.
look, it's to me, it's no different than walking out of a movie. I'll walk out of a bad movie and
Me
get
too.
a refund. I don't feel bad about it, and they give you a
Sometimes
refund.
I'll be like,
I'm
you know what?
actually interested in a matchup.
Not even a
Even though
refund. I'll just be like, I'm out of here. Fuck this place, man.
I'm actually interested in a matchup, even though I never saw this. Well, I probably did see this probably happening in the future, but it's just I never expected now these two guys fighting. It's just the thing is it's only one fight that's good in that roster. Then again, isn't like
I'll tell you one of John Gonzalez's favorite stories. A friend of mine went to see in the 2001, I think it was, Kung Pao. Remember that comedy movie? It's like a spoof on old kung fu movies, and it was horrible. Well, that's what he says. I never seen the whole thing. And anyway,
I
my
love
friend.
it, bro. What are you talking about?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, it figures. No, I'm kidding. No, but the guy went to see the movie, and he says people were one by one, people in the movie theater, and it wasn't that many. They were started walking out, and he's sitting there. He's like, "Should I walk out too?" And then one guy rises from his seat. He rises from his seat and he yells, "Fuck!" and then just left. And my friend was laughing because the guy he could see that he could sense that the anger in the guy. Like, imagine that guy probably drove all the way to the theater, paid good money to watch it, maybe got himself some snacks, and he's just watching this steaming pile of shit. So the aggression was clearly there. Like, fuck, the guy really high pitched.
You know why? Because maybe most of them were fucking Asian. That's why.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Bro, it was really fucking racist towards Asians.
It was, yeah.
Oh man, they made some funny shit off of that shit. It was hilarious. I mean, it's annoying and funny at the same time. It's together. Fucking hilarious. I mean, what was
But
that?
you know what, BDA? When there's people,
Betty in that shit, Betty.
Yeah,
Betty.
They call me Betty. Yeah, that was so stupid, man.
But I've been with people and I've walked out of the theater. They're like, "Can you do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's your
yeah,
you're
you can leave
exercising."
whenever the fuck you want. Yeah.
Well, some people they're like, "Can you do that? Isn't that bad etiquette?" I'm like, "No, actually, you're actually doing people a favor by saying, hey, man, this movie sucks and I don't need to pay for it."
Yeah, it's like it's like with the movie Irreversible. You know, that infamous movie where Monica Bellucci, it's a 7-minute rape scene. It's one take. People walked out of that. It's like, why? Is it bad etiquette to walk out of a rape scene? I mean, come on.
I actually like when they leave the movie theater because it becomes more quiet. I like to watch by myself. So
by the way, for the Odyssey recently, I forget which town it was in. Some fat guy snuck in a big old pot of chili and started selling it during the movie. And they stopped the movie and they escorted him off the premises and banned him from the movie theater. I thought that was, I don't know if he's got a lawsuit in his hands.
Why? He was doing. I mean, people are buying it. What's the problem?
Well, I gotta ask you, Recognize, would you buy chili from some random guy in the movie theater?
No, hell no, no way. Chili is something you eat from. You either cook it yourself, or you trust somebody in your family, or you go to a restaurant, whatever. But I'm not fucking for some random fat guy in a movie theater. Hey, I got some chili. You want some? Fuck you. Hell no.
By the way, I'm guessing the story was fake, man. I'm guessing that because again, I haven't seen any actual video or proof or all I see is this AI. This looks like it's AI generated. This big fat guy who was selling chili inside a movie.
I had a bum friend that I really didn't like, but I hanged around with ever since. Every now and then, what he would do was pretty much go in a theater, steal the popcorn boxes,
Oh,
And
wait a
I
minute.
say, yeah, so I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you have any idea what happened in that shit, bro? Like, you just fucking eating up. It's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you should, okay, don't give me that shit, bro. You stay right there at that shit, bro. Like, you're not gonna give me that garbage.
I mean, if
pretty much,
if the popcorn box has a hole underneath, yeah, you certainly shouldn't be getting that one, right?
Obviously, he looked at if there's a hole underneath or not, bro. But he knows the fucking gist. He would pretty much grab these fucking empty popcorn boxes from other people and just like, this is mine now. I don't have to pay for this shit. So you just go get a refill.
And does your friend does your friend look like a bum, like long hair, long beard, and all that? Or?
I mean, he kind of looks like FUTV. So
you gotta throw food under the bus, man. Come on. Listen to that laugh, man. That maniacal. That's a sober's laugh. That's a never sober's laugh.
That's that laugh that that fucking Jonah Jameson from fucking Spider-Man.
Now, when I was a teenager, we snuck food all the time into the movie theater. Nobody ever checked us. It's a good way of saying. But I'm surprised.
I don't know. That was the one place I didn't mind. I know this might sound fucking corny, but I actually like to buy the popcorn, the fucking chips with cheese, nachos with cheese,
right,
and shit. I didn't mind. I didn't mind doing it. It's like it was like the one time. But here's the thing. Like the fucking movie better be fucking good. I'm gonna pay all that money.
Well, that's the thing, right? The popcorn. Yeah, first of all, the butter. It's not even real butter, but whatever they put in there is fucking delicious. Man.
It's good.
Yeah, it's delicious. Yeah. So yeah, I agree with you. The popcorn.
It's pronounced butter.
But that's what butter. Yeah,
butter.
It's not. But the thing I never understood
it's about the butter. It's the butter.
But by the way, Trump apparently there's another video of some guy sitting behind him, and apparently he smells awful. Trump. So I don't know if the stories are true. Yeah, he's shitting his pants. I don't know if that's true, man.
It's either two things, right? So when he falls asleep, he relaxes too much and he shits, or he farts really bad. Like his farts are horrid. Like it's like, almost sharding on yourself.
Well, the guy does eat nothing but fast food, right? So it would stand to reason all that.
Yeah. I mean, well, you know what? Here's the thing about somebody like Trump, right? He has that big man mentality even at 80, right? So he's been a dude that could get away with it because he's kind of a big dude and he's stronger than most men and shit like that. And now he's like 80. He's like, dude, you can't eat McDonald's anymore, but he still eats it.
Right.
And he when he farts or shits, it smells like the world's coming to an end.
I mean, do you think it's a power move too? Like, hey, I can fart all over you and you can't do anything about it?
Yeah, I wouldn't, bro. Listen, I wouldn't put it past people like him, man. Dudes like that, they're very devious.
Because I mean, I think I told the story.
That's for sure. I can gauge you that much. He probably got his wife, whatever, the first lady, wiping his own ass, or someone else to do it for him.
She won't do it for him. She won't do it. Something tells me she won't do it.
I mean, maybe it's that guy that passed away. What's his name? Lindsey Graham.
That's why he died.
That's why he died from all the smell, bro.
Now, is that true? Is it true that
Trump farted in front of him and he died?
He choked him on it. Talk about the gas chamber, man.
He suddenly died.
Maybe that's Trump's defense mechanism because he's afraid that the Iranians want him or something. So maybe that's when the assassins come for him, he just lets one out and they run out. It's a defense mechanism.
Pop, smoke, and leave, bro. That's what that is. Pop, smoke, and leave.
That is right. By the way, apparently he also fell asleep. So somebody said that after, like he's like a baby. After shitting his pants, he just falls asleep. He takes a little nap. Nap.
I think he felt. I think the problem with him is when he falls asleep. Totally relaxed.
What the fuck? You're cutting off the recognize. We can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. How about now?
Now we can hear you, man. Yeah.
No, I think his problem is relaxing. When he relaxes too much, his bowels, go all over the place.
Outrageous.
His bowel movement.
There's a guy on YouTube. He calls him bloated. A bloated president. Bloated. He keeps saying
a bloated president. Hey, you know what? Someone
is it me or Trump? He's shrinking too. He's starting to shrink really bad.
Really?
Yeah. He's like
Yeah.
He's shorter than ever. I mean, he's still a pretty tall man, but he's like shorter than he's ever been.
He used to be 6'4", now he's 6'2", I think.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's a pretty significant drop. Yeah, 2 inches.
Trump, when I saw the Gilgo Beach killer, alleged, I don't know, has he been found guilty, by the way, or?
I think he's still on trial.
What the fuck?
He's the scapegoat. They're just gonna throw it all on him.
Right.
But yeah.
But that dude gives me Donald Trump vibes, by the way. That's the same Germanic type features.
Well, he's a much bigger man than Trump was, and Trump is already fucking big. I think that wasn't that guy like 6'6".
This dude is 6', yes, thereabouts.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
And he remember his daughter. Apparently, her name was on Tumblr. It was GBK or something like that. And that was before they cut
Gilgo Beach Killer.
Right.
Gilgo Beach. Yeah.
Why the fuck? What a coincidence, right?
That's a fucking weird. No, that's not, dude. I'm telling you, there was something way more than that. He's just a fall guy. He doesn't mind taking the fall because he knows what happens if he don't.
We got to talk about that on the second Renaissance. People keep asking when we're going to return to the second Renaissance. It's just it's difficult. Once we get a date set and we just do it that same day every week, I think it's going to be easy. But for now, I'm always hesitant to pull the trigger. I'm like, what do I do? Because it's also late at night. I'm tired. Like right now, I don't like doing shows past. I usually much prefer to do them in the afternoon or even in the morning, like straight up 6:30 in the morning, because I have more energy. At night, I don't know. The only reason I do is because these guys are able to have the energy at night. If it wasn't for these dudes, I don't think I'd be doing shows at night. But yeah,
I like the night. I'm a night person, bro.
There you go. I know, recognize the night person too, and I know Frank is on the west coast, so it's early
I'm
for
a
him.
predator, bro. I come out night, bro. I don't fucking do that morning shit.
Yeah, where Frank is at right now, there's probably still sun out there right now. There's birds chirping.
Oh yeah, we're still living it up.
There you go. Kids playing in the front yards and all that.
Yeah, people from the West Coast are like right now, not even 9 o'clock. They're 3 hours behind.
Oh, it's still 80 outside. It's hot.
It's 8:40 right now where I'm at.
Frank is just rubbing it in our faces, man.
No, it's just hot right now. Still hot. So
I mean, it's 80
outside.
where I'm at right now too, bro. It's like I mean, I'm in South Florida. Right now we're having decent weather. Usually we're in a heat wave by now.
Yeah, but in Florida you got swamp ass though, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
I like Florida, bro. Florida's awesome. The only reason why I'm not living in Florida is because of that goddamn hurricanes, bro. If it ain't for the hurricanes, my ass will move yesterday.
By the way, in the chat,
I like Southern California weather. That shit is the best to me.
I mean, yeah, I know, bro. I lived in Texas for 2 years. I came over here. I'm like, is this heaven? I feel like this is like
exactly. That's what I said when I started visiting Southern California, right? LA mainly. I was like, this is fucking heaven. And then when I went to San Diego, I was like, I went in the summertime. I was like, this is fucking unreal. Because it's like perfect weather. It's hot, but you're not dying like in Florida,
Yeah, that's the thing here in Quebec, man. We're surrounded by lakes and rivers, so when it gets hot, it gets humid. In Mexico, in Monterrey, that when it was hot, sometimes there was scorching heat, but it wasn't humid at least. Here, and in Houston, Texas too. When I would visit Houston, Texas, the humidity was off the charts. California, Arizona, certain parts, okay, it's hot, but at least it's not humid. You can get under the shade. You can actually cool down a little bit, cool off. Here, the humidity, and like you said, it's probably the same thing in Florida. They recognize like, oh man, if you don't have air conditioning, you're good luck, man.
I mean, the thing about
Texas is so bad, bro. Texas is so bad that we had guys that are like fit wrestlers. They go for like college wrestling and shit, and they were standing in formation, and they fainted.
Whoa!
Because
they were pussies.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, I did call them pussies, but like this fool's fucking big. He ain't a small dude, man. He's like 200 something plus, and he's fit. He's all muscle, and he just fainted with all that AC on and everything.
Well, hold on. Were they fainting because a guy was funny in front of them, like Trump, or?
Oh no! It was hot as fuck. Yeah,
Okay.
it could be that too. but Trump wasn't president at the time.
There you
It was
go.
Obama. It was a different type of shitty smell. You know
But
what I
which part of
mean?
Texas? We're talking northern Texas. I assume you're talking about northern, not like down south.
Central Texas, like a little bit above Austin.
There you go. Okay, that makes sense.
Killeen is the spot. Fort Hood was the base that I was in, and that's the dude. It was crazy. It was just people fly, and not just him. A bunch of fucking dudes I seen. But that dude was known to be a top level athlete amongst us, and he fainted.
Jeez, I mean,
and we had to give him water and shit. We were having formation, so you think about it, was a formation bunch of like maybe 100+ dudes just standing there in a line. Each one have they're lined up, and then you have the officers in front of them with not non-commissioned officers, not officers, not the ones you know of. So they were all standing, and then all of a sudden this guy we had a speech from I forgot the rank, the highest non-commissioned officer at the moment in time. I forgot the rank, what it's called. It's been a long time, bro. Whatever. He was talking, and this fool just fucking collapsed. We're like, what the fuck just happened to this guy? We all jumped. He just fucking collapsed, bro. Like he fainted. And we think he bought the fucking, because you can die off of heat stroke. It's not like you can't. Yeah, we're giving him water and shit, all this kind of stuff, and he somehow comes back to normality. And we're thinking that maybe he had a bender. He had, he probably drank the day before or something like that. No, this guy wasn't known for being a drinker. He was an athlete, bro. He didn't like drinking. The first time we gave him alcohol, one fucking cup, and he was buzzing. Like he thought he was like fucking drunk. You know what I mean? Whatever it was, vodka, we gave him whiskey or something. He was fucking.
You were corrupting the guy.
Well, we weren't trying to corrupt him. We just gave a little bit so you could give an experience, like
what you were up to in the military, corrupting people.
Yeah. We like to corrupt things. We like to violate things.
Oh, wait a minute. Getting a guy drunk and violating him. I don't know where this story's going, Gypsy. We got to move on, man.
Anyways. Yeah. Whatever. Forget about it.
No, but yeah, the dry heat, the humidity. I mean, it's you got to be careful, man, because it hits you when you least expect it. And a lot of people don't even understand when they're dehydrated. They think, well, if I'm not thirsty, I'm not dehydrated. No, that's not how it works, according to what I read. By the way,
you come off the plane, and it could be a cold ass day. You'd be sweating beads.
Exactly. Handsome Mechanic Texas. In the chat says, recognize should go to Fresno. Jump Tube says Trump ass in Florida. You don't got swamp ass, you got Trump ass in Florida. SJW says the birds are twerking. It's 93 degrees right now. The birds are twerking. Epadocua says a little bolsita. Never heard nobody. Oh, come on. They're trying to corrupt me now, Gypsy. They're trying to get me into the little bag of Snow White, if you know what I mean. Ain't never gonna do that. JDH says pull the fucking trigger with the second Renaissance BDA. That's the Joe voice right there. Handsome Mechanic says BDA doesn't want to get a call from the Canadian government. I don't know why I would want that. Or maybe I don't know what he's talking about. Then he says BDA is the type of guy to take his girlfriend to an adult movie theater. Yeah, like Travis Bickle. Never heard nobody. Rappack Strong Company says a hole in the bottom of the popcorn box. Well, that's the old trick. You cut a hole in the popcorn box. You're in the movie theater with the girls. Like, hey, you want a little popcorn? Why don't you reach in there? And then before you know it, boom, she's getting a pole instead of that popcorn. Anyway, listen, guys, we got to move on. We got to go, actually. It's 11:46. I'll let you guys know when we do the second Renaissance. Again, we just have to do it, man. I got to stop prevaricating and waiting for the perfect time. Just got to go ahead and do it. Give the people some entertainment late at night. So, guys, I want to thank you guys for jumping in. I want to thank Sobers, who was here earlier. Recognize Gypsy, Frank. That's Boxing with Frank Bay. What's his name? Revolucion was here earlier as well. Shout out to Revolucion. And, of course, everybody in the chat. I'm talking about the Turk, Solazzo. Shout out to the Turk. Handsome Mechanic, Eparokua, SJW. Who else do we have here? Joe. Handsome Mechanic. Rappack Strong Company 10-4. Shout out to him. Sigma Human. Who else do we have here? Snackford. I'm Green. King KO the Great. 2 Matador. More BDC. And if I forgot anybody, guys, because we gotta go. All right, I gotta go grab a quick bite to eat before we go. Otherwise,